What time is it? Game time! Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Game Time, episode 18. Man, it's been like a long time since I've said that. I think our last episode was, believe it or not, like April. We have had an up and down. Despite my best attempts to keep this show relatively consistent, Erik is on the lam and on the mend. He's, just has some physical stuff, so he's just not ready to get to it. He just released a Substack where he's like, you know what? I'm finally ready to get back into it. So that's one of my hosts. My other host, Ollie, who is the man in Japan, is now super busy. I don't know. He's got all the girls following him all the way across Tokyo while he does his mecha stuff. He's like a big mecha star. I always bug him about, you guys ever play Zone of the Enders?
Mm-mm. Yes, I have.
It's Kojima's mecha game. Anyway, those mechas have like, the guy sits in like the dick. Like the cockpit is literally the dick of the mecha. And he hates Zone of the Enders, so I always bug him about it. But the designs are awesome because Yoji Shinkawa does it, the same guy from Metal Gear. Anyway, welcome to Game Time, episode 18.
Are you trying to say that he would rather be with waifus than podcast? What?
Listen, I'm not saying it, but I might be. He's a great dude. But he'll join us on the next one. But the great thing is I am here with Jim and Brian from the Drink a Beer, Play a Game channel. And your podcast is named
The Power Hour.
The Power Hour.
The least original name in the history of beer-related podcasts. And for anyone out there who's starting a beer podcast or related, don't call it that because there's 10,000 of them. You're just buried in SEO. So hindsight. Yeah. Hindsight is a bitch.
Well, that's what I found when I named ours Game Night. Honestly, we were bereft of any like ingenuity when we made the night, and now it's like we were just buried with like board game podcasts. And I was like, well, it's not like we're not going to get like famous here. We're one of a trillion gaming podcasts. We do this for fun, right?
Exactly.
That's it. Yeah, exactly.
So anyway, guys, thank you very much for joining me. I've been a fan of your show for quite a while. One, because I really like drinks. And I think the people on here might think that, Jason's an alcoholic. I swear to God, I'm not. We were talking before the show that we're all parents here, and trying to drink, period, and having kids is just the worst. Being hungover with kids. And I'm too old now. Like I can have like 5 drinks and it's like a 2-dayer. I can't deal with it. So anyway, boys, I want to start with your tradition, which on your show, you're always talking about, what are we drinking today?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So, Jason, first of all, thank you for having us on. Tonight, I decided, I have so much leftover beer and there are various in the snap. I said, you know what, tonight, I'm going to go get something special. So near us, there's a place called Dock Street Brewing, and I went with their Man Full of Trouble Porter. It's apparently a 2017 and 2021 award winner. Only 5.2%. It's a heady son of a bitch. A lot of foam in this, dark, sexy. But it's, even though it's summer, it's a little muggy out. I haven't had a good porter or a stout in a while, and I was just in the mood for it. So yeah, I was like, you know what? If I'm gonna be drinking with you tonight, I want to drink something a little better than just
something
the usual bullshit.
Cheers. And Jim,
cheers,
yourself?
Bud.
Yeah, so I like to play pretend when I do these guest spots and try to act not like a scumbag. So instead of my usual Keystone or sour beers, little girl shit, I am drinking from the Franzenschacher Brewery, their Weiss beer. This is an imported premium Weiss beer, same ingredients they've used since 1363, 5% alcohol by volume. I should be pouring this out right now, but god damn, is this a smooth beer.
Yeah. All your talk of classiness just went out the window by not pouring it. What are you doing?
I am's what I am's, Brian. I can only fake it for so long.
Well, I love that. Who's the Miller High Life guy? Is there a Miller High Life guy on your show? I swear I've seen it brought up a few times. Someone likes Miller High Life.
So we've definitely had it on the show. I would say neither of us are really that big on it. Jim is the definitive Keystone guy.
Okay.
Keystone is his go-to forever. When we first started the podcast or the website, I should say, we were really like Lion's Head was our go-to because that's really just the cheap beer. And now we're slowly morphing into a Hams podcast. So yeah, we've been all over the board.
I love it. Well, like for just regular run of the mill beers. It's funny because I'm Canadian, but I definitely go for the Miller High Life. One, I love me a nice looking bottle and label. I'm a sucker for it. I mean, that's kind of the reason Corona sold. It's terrible beer, but people liked it. But I'm with a Sleeman's Original. This is a Canadian brewery out of Guelph, Ontario. Although, like everything in Canada, it's probably owned by Americans now. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure it is. I'm surprised I'm not fucking American at this point. To be honest, with the way our dollar is, I wouldn't mind it. But hey, Canadians will hate me for that one. Cheers, brother. I don't know. There's nothing really magic about it. It's your typical 5.2%, and it is quite good. So cheers. Thanks for joining me.
Cheers, bud. It's funny you say that because, we have ties to Canadian beer because one of our original kind of go-to, if we want to get drunk real fast, was Molson Triple X. Pre-gaming that was always like, yeah, that's a smart decision. Have like 8 or 9 of those and then do shots and then do whatever. And as you can imagine, the nights would always unfold the way you would expect them to unfold after doing that. But that was a tradition for many, many years. So
what's that, like a college shortly after that?
College,
parties,
right out of college.
Trips. If you want a smell that you'll never forget, put 8 post-college guys in a 13th floor hotel room where you can't open windows with a couple cases of Molson Triple X. It is, you'll never forget it, and your nose will never recover. My God, it was awful.
Those days, man. Anything to get by. The cheap drinks, get as far as you can days. I mean, that's one for us. But I went to a concert, as one does, and I met some guys from the UK, and that's when I found like a different level of just like degenerate drunk in my life. And like because the thing with these guys is like they're drinking just the worst wine. And I'm like, I wouldn't be caught dead personally slugging wine at a concert personally. But these guys are like, mate, it costs this, and you just get hammered off. I'm like, I mean, I get it. And maybe I'm just too old to like roll with that. I don't think I was ever in that state where I would just be like, oh, wow, the wine is $7. So let's get as much as that and hammer it.
So, in an old band, we did a lot more drinking than actual playing and practicing. And eventually we discovered one day that you could get basically the handles of Sutter Home for about like $2.50. So instead of buying a case of beer, we would all just buy like 3 handles each of Sutter Home or whatever the big bottles are of that. And oh God. Yeah, we would just be pounding that all goddamn night. And you got drunk, but you woke up feeling like death.
That I like just thinking about that hurts. Holy cow. So where are you guys from?
So we're both right outside of Philly. That like where we are, we're in a
fucking
area
scumbags. Holy shit.
Goddamn right.
You gotta love it. So we're right outside of it. Like we're both in suburbs outside of Philly. So basically we're in Bucks County and it's just easier for us to say Philly. But yeah, no, we grew up here, and Jim and I have a long history of should have known each other in high school, went to the same high school. There's been many times we've told stories that we may have interacted, didn't realize it was with each other.
Why don't you tell them the story, Brian? I'm sure the crowd will love it.
Listen, viewers, if you don't want to hear the backstory, you can fast forward, but I want to hear it.
So Jim and I went to the same high school. It was a Catholic high school, and they had a tradition every year. They sold lemons, and they would give you a sugar straw that you would just punch into the lemon and drink out of it. Sounds dumb, but it was actually delicious. Turns out Jim and I had the same period lunch. My table, like when we were done with our lemons, we're like, oh, we're going to throw them into this trash can. I friggin' chucked this lemon as hard as I could, hit somebody in the back of the head, and everyone's laughing. Turns out I'm telling Jim that story, and he's like, I got hit in the head with a lemon.
Oh, no.
And I said, was it like third period lunch? He's like, yeah.
I was like,
did you sit near a trash can? He's like, yeah. I was like, oh, shit. And we didn't know each other at all in high school, so we meet in college first day. And it's been revealed ever since. And eventually, best friends in college with a group of friends. His now wife was a girlfriend. Her sister introduced me. So I always used to joke with him. I said, I'm going to get in your family somehow, either by bagging a cousin or something. And here we are. We're kind of almost brother-in-laws, kind of.
I mean, we are brother-in-laws.
Yeah, on paper.
Oh, okay, so you married Jim's sister.
Jim's my wife's sister.
Oh, okay, I get it there. I just for a second I was like getting a little weird incest shit. I don't know. So are you guys the same age?
Basically,
I'm much younger than Jim.
Oh, I say
6 months, my ass. Shut the fuck up.
That's great. So, I mean, real quick, sorry guys, bear with me a little bit more.
Yeah.
But like, I'm a big sports guy. Are you Flyers fans?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I'm a Caps guy. Like, it's funny.
Oh, you fucking! Oh, look at me. We have Ovi. He can just stand on the goddamn point and just be fed.
See,
fed.
now that's
and
just
no one can stop him. No one can
unintelligent,
fucking stop it.
ignorant type takes. First of all, I'm gonna hit you with some fucking data now.
Let's do it.
He doesn't start doing that shit until like 2015, and the heat maps of his goals show it. Prior to that, he's the most prolific goal scorer in history. You can see it. He's everywhere. You don't win 3 MVPs by just sitting in the thing. Just like Jordan, when the athleticism started to fail just a touch, they develop a different weapon. Jordan was his fadeaway. Couldn't stop it. Ovi drifted let circle. And if you look, like his goals from 1 to 250, 250 to 500, 500, 750, his pace is actually exactly the same. Even though he was like anyone that says he was the same player let's say even he wasn't the same player in 2018 that he was in 2010. He just wasn't. And guys are like, oh, he finally became a team fucking player. No, he didn't. He just had guys that could actually score other than him in the playoffs. Like you don't become a, back-to-back MVP. Well, he's a 3-time MVP and just not be the best player. The team couldn't win because they had no one else and they didn't have a fucking goaltender and they didn't have a blue line. But I never forget because his first playoffs was against the Flyers in 08, the Mike Richards Flyers.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the first time he made the Flyers. It was a 7-game series, and I'll never forget his first goal. That was great. Anyway.
Don't get me wrong. I fucking love Ovi. And like, yeah, I am busting balls, but it's so easy to set off Capitals fans by just be like, I just sits in the point. And just,
I lose it. Because I'm like, no, it doesn't. And here's the fucking data. And I busted out. No, but anyway, are you guys are going to suck next year.
Well, here. Well, I mean, that's yes.
Okay, we might have got that. We might have. Look, we're young, scrappy guys. Hey, we got Dan Fedora over here. Hey. Yeah. Sean Couturier plays like, a third of the season. Yay.
Yeah. It's.
I mean, it really just depends if Tocchet and fucking Michkov can like stop hating each other and start cooperating. And maybe this like talented, Russian kid that was like amazing. We actually brought him over, lives up to the hype. Or he can be like every Phillies prospect and, shit the bed and be a waste of time. So.
Just let him wear his tracksuits and score goals. That's it. That's the way to help make the Russians be happy. All right, sports talk anyway. Honestly, like I've contemplated doing a sports podcast. I just don't have any time, but I love it. Maybe we'll talk about that after. So anyway, this is a video game show, and as you can see, these gentlemen, they have a prolific collection behind them. It makes me very happy. Mine are all over there and out there. I finished this basement specifically for my video game shit. So my wife, 1, could leave me alone with it. And 2, I have some place to just be by myself. But yeah, we're going to be talking about the physical stuff for sure. I know you guys have gone into it. I haven't really had a chance to delve into it, but I'll just frame the show going forward. We're going to do sort of like a State of the Union halfway, well, almost 3/4 through 2026. So much news. I know, man. Like, where's this year gone? Nuts. And like the summer's almost over. That's crazy.
Insane.
Depressing.
The kids are going to be going back to school within a month. It's insane.
Okay, so not that depressing.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. So we're going to be talking about each one of your favorite, the good, the bad, and ugly of the PlayStation, Xbox, and Nintendo. Talk about what we're playing. But, have you guys had a good summer? Has it been all right?
Busy. Vacations, family stuff, work as usual. Jim and I actually are going away with the wives, with the whole friend group from our college. Awesome. To a big, we ran a big house because most of us are turning 40. So it's going to be a lot of drinking multiple days in a row. And like we talked about at the beginning, we're going to be hurting for multiple days after that. So yeah, it's going to be a great time.
And most importantly, no kids. So we're actually going to
Oh
enjoy
wow,
ourselves. We're doing
no
it right.
kids. Who'd you pawn them off to?
My brother for mine.
My mom and my wife's grandmother who live with me. So it's an
Oh, that's
easy
nice.
pawn off. Yeah.
We actually got back. My wife and I, speaking of that, just got back from Thailand like 2 weeks ago,
Oh,
and
shit.
we did not take the kids.
Oh,
Which is
that
crazy.
must be
Beautiful.
nice.
Yeah, it was like, I mean, long story short, I won't bore, but the truth is I'm trying to move, like out of the country move. So
Okay.
we wanted to do some exploring, and that's like the only way we could do it. Like I jerked off an elephant. It was fantastic. Did a bunch of
to go to
shit.
Thailand.
Didn't become a lady boy. Here I am. I made it.
But no, like, we can only see half of you.
Yeah, just the good half. I always use that line. You guys know the movie Goodfellas?
Oh,
of
yeah.
course.
Yeah, you know when his what's her name? He goes to the door to meet his wife's parents before they're married. He's like,
And he's like, yeah,
that cross.
just a good.
My mother
Yeah.
sees it, she'll go crazy. That cross. He's like, my daughter tells me you're half Jewish. Just the good half.
Just a good.
You know
half.
that Ray Liotta chuckle he does? I always love that line. That's good. Anyway, I was gonna save what we were playing for like at the end of the show, but I kind of just feel like talking about video games in a good way before we start shitting on everybody. So you guys pick. What have you been playing first off, and then just go into sort of what you're looking forward. Like the truth is, even though there's some bad stories out there and a lot, it's easy to get on that shit. In terms of just purely video game releases annually, like we're eating really, really good. Even if you go back, like I can't really think of a bad year over the last 5. And even if you go back further than that, back to 2018, 17, 16, even 15. To me, really 2014 was the last bad year for video games. So you guys go ahead, take it away.
Ladies first, Jim, you can start.
Such a goddamn gentleman. But yeah, I just finished up playing Street Fighter 6. I was playing it off the deluxe edition off the Switch. And like the Switch isn't like the most ideal way to play a fighting game, but I wound up liking playing on the Joy-Cons more than the DualSense controller. I just find that to be like too mushy and annoying to play with for games like that. But I also suck at fighting games, but I do enjoy them. It's nice. It was nice to have like a good 15-hour single player campaign. They definitely listened to the criticisms of Street Fighter 5 and its lack of content when it came out. It's not like the deepest or most amazing game in the world for like, you know, little sandbox kind of game where you run around just fighting random people, but it was fun for what it was. I'm also in the depths right now of playing through Blasphemous 2. Blasphemous 1's like one of my favorite Metroidvanias ever. So I'm finally getting around to playing 2 this year. It was just on sale, and I was like, yeah, I'm hopping on this. And
yeah, they have a really good physical edition, like collector's edition. I think it's through I don't know if it's Limited Run or I Am 8-Bit, one of those. They sell a nice one.
Do they? For what? For the second one?
Yeah, or maybe it was a combined. You know, sometimes they'll do the second one, but then if you buy like the deluxe version, it adds both of them. I have a bunch of their because I've had my eye on it. I really like. First of all, I'm like so anti the name Metroidvania. I fucking hate it. But it's like you struggle to get with another name, so you just continually keep using it. But anyway, those are like my jam for sure. And Blasphemous has always been one that has caught my eye.
Great game.
If you like the genre and you haven't played it yet, just drop everything and start playing it. Whether you play 1 or just jump right into 2, they're both just
see, that's the thing.
Excellent.
Like I'll have to play the first one first.
Yeah, and you know what? You won't be disappointed. Like 2, I think plays a little smoother, but you know that happens a lot. But 1 was still absolutely fantastic. You will not be disappointed if you play it. And it's actually funny about mentioning like games combining into packs because like quick tangent, Bitmap Bureau is like one of my favorite like smaller developers. Like they're the guys who did Xenocrisis, but they've done a bunch of other games, and I basically buy every release that they have. But after a couple years, they eventually did like a 3-pack of like Battle Axe, Final Vendetta, and Xenocrisis together for like $30 when all their games individually were being sold for like 40. So I was like, motherfucker, if only I waited a little bit. But you know, I'm happy to support them. But either way, sometimes it's better to just wait with these physicals.
I'm with you.
For as long as we have them left. Rest in peace. Foreshadowing for topics. But yeah, and we were just talking about last night as we were recording our show. A buddy of our page, he's another YouTube named Genovi, and he's into retro scene, and he's very big into like the weird consoles, like the CDI and the 32X. And he
It's
actually
funny you say that. I just picked up a Panasonic 3DO, the original, because there was a secondary version that cheaped out and got rid of the disc tray. I picked
Yeah.
up that and the Philips CDI. Now there was a couple different CDI versions, but I got the Philips one. Just some guy who was getting a divorce and he was selling one through Facebook. So I'm like, yep, want those.
Dude,
And they work.
I have a CDI as well. I found mine at a Goodwill about like 10 years ago, and they definitely thought it was just another DVD player among all the others. And I saw it and I was like, I know what that shape is. I start looking up, Googling everything, checking numbers. I'm like, that's a fucking CDI. So I got it for $8, brought it home.
Arguably the shittiest console ever made, but hey, we all want it.
Easily, but I absolutely fucking love it too. It's such trash, but I love this trash.
God, so bad.
Oh, it's terrible. But I went out. I had a guy make a custom adapter so it converts to a Super NES controller to be able to be played on a CDI, so you don't have to use any of their controllers. So that's kind of a godsend. But yeah, that tangent aside. So our buddy Genovi, he's actually been developing a couple different games for the 32X, and one he's been building from scratch. So it's a kind of simple looking, matching puzzle gem game. Imagine Columns, but like good. And yeah, he's building it from scratch. It's called Meld. It's in the very early alpha stages. I was doing
Sorry, what's it called? Meld?
Meld, yeah. Because you're trying to meld them together, basically.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, so far it's a very cool game, bunch of different game modes to try and switch it up. And, early alpha stages, but it's one to look out for.
That's really cool. I respect the hell out of guys that, you'll see a guy come out with a Genesis cart every once in a while. Actually, speaking of the limited run, they just did I always struggle with the pronunciation. I always used to say Garius growing up, but it was
I think it's what, Gaiares?
Yeah, it's spelled like Giares. But growing up, and it's for the Genesis, but growing up it was like, see, it's funny, like I'm older than you guys. I'm 47 years old. We always just called those shooters. Those were shooters. Mm-hmm. Somewhere along the line, that fucking name got co-opted by first-person shooters, and now you relegate these games to shmups. But to me, I'll always refer to, your R-types, your Radiant Silver Guns and Ikarugas as shooters. That's what I'm going to call them. So, I don't know, get mad, whatever. But yeah,
people get mad when call limited. Shooter
What's
people
that?
are fine with. No, shooter people are fine with. People spurg out when you say shmup, like the hardcore, like shoot 'em up fans.
So much.
But that's another one where it's like, it's lack of a better term, where it's like, what you're talking about when you say it. So you're just like, fuck.
Yeah.
Cornhole again.
I refuse to give up like the all-encompassing shooter term to first-person shooters. They can be like the other shooter, the first-person shooter. Although no one wants to agree with me anymore. I'm too old. But yeah, anyway, they did a physical edition of that, and I picked that up. So it's cool to see guys like still developing like those old carts. Like, it's crazy of all things to just develop a new game in 2025, 26 on would be the 32X. The least popular edition of the Tower of Power for Sega in that era. Like, not a Sega CD, not a Genesis game, but a 32X. That's cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, I was just trying to think. Oh, if you like shooters and you want to see like a really cool Genesis game that's brand new, but like it pushes the game to its absolute limits, check out Eartheon. Like it's also on Steam. It's like $20, but they're making it a physical cart that will work on a Genesis. It's going to look the exact same, play the exact same, and like that's like Xenocrisis. It just pushes that system to its limits. It's crazy to see what people can do.
I want that. Like, I was a Sega kid growing up. I know everyone out there can drink. I say it all the time, but I miss my Sega very, very much.
I'm a Sega boy too. Like, I have one of these things here over off camera that's just completely filled with Genesis games. It's my favorite console.
That's awesome. Is it really? That's your favorite?
Oh yeah.
That's great. I love to hear it. It's right up there with me too. Like, I don't know, what an era. We'll spare it for next time. So Brian, what are you playing?
So this year, you said gamers eating good, and there's been a lot of good games. So I did, at the beginning of the year, I went through Resident Evil Requiem multiple times. Really, really enjoyed that one. Friend of the show and from Yacht Club Games, Mina the Hollower, played that. Nice throwback, kind of blending Legend of Zelda with Bloodstained. It's such a good game. It had hype around it, probably for some of the wrong reasons. Some people thought it was being overhyped, but it's a game that if you like Castlevania, you like Legend of Zelda, and a game that has so much friggin' content packed into I think it's like a $20 title. Like, you really can't get beat, especially if you like those old school style games.
So
And
compared
then
to compared to the other game, Shovel Knight, which one do you like better?
I think Mina.
Yeah.
I enjoy Shovel Knight. It's they're so different though.
Yes,
Like
they
Shovel
are.
Knight
I know.
really just straight platform. Like, it's fun. Mina is the difficulty is a lot higher. There's so much more variety of weapons and things you can do, and I tend to enjoy like exploration. And there's just so much more content that's like, Mina exists really because of Shovel Knight, but doesn't take away from how fun Shovel Knight was. But Mina to me is it's their next level, and I think, I don't know if it's going to have the same appeal as Shovel Knight, because I'm not saying Shovel Knight was easy, but it's not as hard as Mina is.
Mhm.
So I can see where that could turn some people off. But yeah, I mean, those are like the right off the bat. All right, those are two newer games. I've been playing. I actually just finished Condemned. The old like 2009 game.
Mhm.
Great game. Literally just beat it days ago. So I found that at a random GameStop because they closed all other GameStops within like a 15-mile radius of us.
Oh wow.
Found it, got it, and I was like, yo, this game's great. Always playing Dead by Daylight. That's something I on and off mess around with. Fun little, online competitive game when I'm not doing COD with our buddies once a year. And for the first time, I don't do RPGs. Like, Jim and I are pretty notorious for that. I would
Oh
say
yeah.
more specifically JRPGs. Like, we don't really mess with those. But I started Persona 4 because a friend recommended it. Said, oh, it's like a investigation style, like Scooby-Doo, whatever, high school. Like, I was like, whatever, I'll try it. So it's a whole new world for me messing with that game. But yeah, like, I'm more looking forward to the later half of this year because you got the Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time remake.
Mhm.
I know they didn't announce a date, but they're claiming it's still this year. You got the Hellraiser game, the Halloween game, and as you can tell, I'm very much into horror. So you
I like
throw
that.
horror stuff, I'm always going to do it. Uh, I know it's a hot topic. GTA 6, you're not like GTA 5. I played 7 or 8 years after it was released because I was like, I already know it's going to be a good game, but I don't need to play it right away. And I feel the same about this. I'm not going to put out $100 for it right away. I'll wait till it's cheaper and then I'll play it. But the two I'm looking forward to the most is the Wolverine game and the new Onimusha. Like,
Oh yeah.
those are two that I can't wait to get my hands on. Like, and they'll probably be day one buys for me for sure.
Did you play Onimusha when it first came out for the PS2?
It was when I got the system, it was that and GTA 3.
Yeah, Onimusha, to be honest,
Or I'm sorry, Gran Turismo 3, not GTA
other
3.
than the first Zone of the Enders, was kind of like the first like really good game for the PS2. Like, people always remember it as like, this all-time great console. Listen, I was very fortunate that my mom waited in a very cold lineup for me to get one because I was in college then. I couldn't do it. So she got me one, and I didn't play, like, really there was nothing on the PS2. It was NBA Street, Zone of the Enders because I had the Metal Gear Solid 2 demo, and then Onimusha came out, and that was like the game, and it was history from there. I loved Onimusha, and I played the demo, and I liked it a lot. A lot of people thought it was too easy, but I'm like, I'm not gonna like make this grand sweeping decision off or opinion off this small demo that, one, looks great, and two, is just trying to introduce you to the mechanics. So I'm all in. Like you guys, I pre-order this stuff, and I'm gonna play it for sure. But I'm interested about the JRPG thing because, like, it's funny you got recommended Persona 4 because it's like the most weeby Japanese role-playing game you can get. Like, it's in high school. It has every like realistic trope you could possibly find. It's a relationship simulator. It's this and it's that. Like, have you been playing it a lot or?
I'm still I knowing once I started playing it, I was like, how long is this game? And then I looked
Very.
in the average amount of time people put into it. I was like, Oh, I didn't realize it'd be like a 60, 70-hour game. Yeah, it was sold to me once again as a Scooby-Doo, like
Oh.
not who done it, but like you're investigating these disappearances and there's this monster world. And that's kind of how it was sold to me. And I was like, okay. Like I knew nothing of Persona prior to
Okay.
this. So I was just like, okay. And then quickly when I realized like spending a lot of time talking just relationship stuff and making friendships and like it's not one that I'm not like there's no day that goes by that I go, oh man, I can't wait to jump. It's like more like I want to see where it's going. Like I find some pieces interesting. But yeah, like JRPGs specifically, I am very not a turn-based attack guy. Like I hate scrolling through menus for attacks. Like RPGs, Western RPGs, I like. And world building games, I can dump 120 hours into those. But JRPGs, it's just, I don't want to look at a wall of text, hit attack, hit this, hit that. And that's not taken away from story, from sound, from anything. But it's just something never got into as a kid. And it just kind of stuck with me.
It's also funny. Sorry, real quick.
Ahead,
it's also funny for
ahead.
Brian to be recommended that game because he's not an anime guy at all. I think the only anime he's ever watched is when we did DBZ's Super Broly for a bonus episode. Like, I think that's about it for him. So he is so untuned. What's that?
The movie's great.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
that's
you
awesome.
forget the first half. Just as soon as you get to, where they show up to fight, it has the best Super Saiyan transformation ever, the Vegeta one, where he just transforms on the mountain and explodes. It's the best. And they always use it in the memes. It's like, oh, ultimate power, you'll bring world peace. He's like, I'll fucking bring world peace, all right. He's like, ah!
Yeah, because what was it? Was it the Hunter guy or My Hero Academia? One of the people who work on those did the animation for it. That's why it looks so different from the normal. Or
I'm not sure, but I mean, it is like the best Dragon Ball's ever looked. Like, because I mean, I'm an anime guy. I don't have as much time for it anymore. I'm also a JRPG guy, so I just like hearing about that. And it's interesting that Persona 4 grabbed you. And it's funny because like the remake's right around the corner, right? So that might soften the blow to some of this. Although Persona 4 Golden is like pretty much all voice. So even though it's menus, it's not just wading through text bubbles all the time, right?
That's what I found. Whatever setting I have it on, like I still seem to be able to just hit a button and do the versus going into a menu. Now, unless I'm looking for a very specific attack, you can do it that way. And I am playing Gold. I'm playing it on Switch too. So, like I said, I'm also very flexible. Like if a game is good, a game is good, right? Like unlike like Jim will skip every story ever. It doesn't matter how short, how long. He's not a refined guy. He's a very, simple Jim is a meme we have. If you've ever seen Tropic Thunder,
we even have commissioned art. We'll show it to you after.
But yeah, so like I don't know if this will open the door for me for wanting to get into those, but it is funny Jim mentioned the whole anime thing. We did that movie and then we did a video where I blindly ranked Dragon Ball Z characters just strictly based on a picture Jim gave me. And the interesting part was I thought it would get a lot more hate, but it seems a lot of people actually agreed with my assessment. And I'm shitting on some characters.
Give me like the top 5. Do you remember?
Oh, I mean,
top 3.
What names do you remember?
Not true. Not many. Like,
who's the main guy
for Goku?
Okay, at least he.
Yeah, him, Broly. Like, I shit on basically every time I saw. I just kept calling them Goku clones. I was like, oh, that's just a wannabe Goku. It's a skinny Goku. It's a kid Goku. Like, I would just keep throwing shit like that.
You're not far off.
Yeah.
He shit on Vegeta a lot. He was like, look at this little fuck.
No.
Well, I had to shit on him because the only movie I watched, he was a whiny bitch. He's like, this should be me. I should be this guy. Da-da-da. And
to be
he was
fair,
shitting on Broly.
It kind of tracks.
Like, Toriyama kind of shits on Vegeta. He's like this fan favorite. I just want to see him win once. Like, be the strongest at the end of an
Yeah.
arc. Like, why is it fucking Goku every single time? Goku's the worst father in the fucking world. He abandons his kids so Piccolo can raise him. And then, like, he just lets him die. He doesn't really care. Vegeta's actually kind of a good dad, and he just wants to be really strong. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, my
I want to see him
introduction to
fucking
him
win.
was not not glamorous because all he did was show him Broly. I'm like, Broly's just the victim in that movie. I was like, fuck these guys, and they couldn't even take him 1-on-1. They had to combine powers to
No,
take him. So I was like,
Broly's the goat. I love it.
yeah, yeah. And
Just gets mad.
so he is my number one, by the way, on that list. I was like, oh, he's definitely the goat. Like he's top.
Love it. Yeah, I'm a big anime guy. Love it.
Yeah.
But at least with Persona 4, just getting back to that, and we'll close that, is the one thing I'll give it, just on pure, the presentation is like as good as it gets in video games. The music is like as good as it gets in video games. So you're giving it like your best foot forward. The only thing I would say sometimes that would be suspect in terms of recommending a game like that would be the setting. Just because like you're jumping back into high school. I'll be honest, like I'm a big RPG guy, and I love the Persona games, but sometimes I have a hard time with the high school thing. Like I just get
Yeah.
caught up in it, and I'm just hoping 6 is like they delve at least into college. Not like that's any better, but it's just like give it a different thing. But I don't think they will. I just think their whole setting is going to be high school. Yeah.
Yeah, no, and I agree with you 100%. So yeah, well, I'll see it to the end. It may take me the rest of the year, but I will see it to the end.
I'll stay tuned. I've heard it's a really good game. Like I played it on my trusty Vita back here. It's funny. Like on my trip to Thailand, I'm still rocking the Vita on the airplane.
Nice.
It's great.
Man of taste.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like it's the best. Well, I mean the Steam machine or the Steam Deck, but other than that, it's the best handheld tech that's ever been. It's beautiful. Insane.
That's one of my big regrets is never hopping on that, especially when it was like cheap and being liquidated. I was like, I don't need another console. And then one day you just couldn't find anything anywhere. I was like, shit, missed my chance.
We few thousand tried to tell everybody, but in like
I'm
your
with you
defense,
guys, so you're preaching to the choir here. All right.
in your defense though, they fucked it up.
There.
Memory cards, really software lineup for the Vita, I would put the PSPs well ahead. So it's like you have this expectation comparatively. And don't get me wrong, I think the Vita has a really good lineup, but it just wasn't the same level. And they marketed it as like, a PS4 in your pocket. It certainly was never that, and they couldn't afford to keep it going like that. So, but I still love that thing.
Nice.
So I guess it's my turn. What am I playing? I just platinum number 100, The Adventures of Elliot, The Millennium Tales. It's a HD 2D game that just came out by Square, and it's really it's like a throwback Zelda game, just with the different visuals. Like it's your side scrolling. Really, it's a mix of old school Zeldas and do you know the franchise by Falcom Ease? Like it's a Y apostrophe S.
Yeah.
Yeah. Think of the mix of those two games with HD 2D graphics. That's what it's like.
So is it more in the lines of the newer HD upgrades of East games? Like earlier this year, I played East 3 Memoirs of Felghana. So is it like kind of similar looking to that for how they upgrade those things?
That's East 8. That's 8. But it's
That's 8?
no, like those visuals. Is it an HD? I mean, HD 2D is kind of like a marketing thing, and it gives you like this geometric look for your classic 2D. I'd say the visuals are slightly different, but very similar. Very similar.
Is it kind of like Octopath Traveler 0?
Yes, it's made by the same team.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I looked it up, and as soon as I saw it, I was like, that reminds me just of that. The looks of it are pretty damn cool.
It plays extremely well. Like it's completely action. It's no turn based. It like East is fast paced action combat. Old school Zeldas were like that too. It's really sort of like raw positive sometimes, but I actually loved it. You got to go all the way to. There's 3 endings. You got to get the true ending to get like the whole thing. And I did it. It took me longer than I thought, but I really, really liked it. And I recommend it to anyone that's into those type of games. I don't know how well it's doing, but it's definitely, if you're into anything like that, Ease games, I would say play it for sure.
Oh yeah.
Other than that, I'm like, I got Unicorn Overlord sort of on the go. That's Vanillaware. Do you guys know them?
I know of them, but I couldn't tell you one of their games offhand.
It's like a tactics game, but they have a very distinct art style. Um, Dragon's Crown, Muramasa,
Okay, I have Dragon's
13.
Crown.
Yeah. So think of that, like, the really exaggerated art style. Although they dial it back for Unicorn Overlord. Really cool tactics game.
No G cups.
No, unfortunately, because I feel like George. So
I'm out.
the artist's name is George Kamatami. I don't know if you ever remembered. He got into it with Jason Schreier back when he worked at Kotaku. He was trying to rip him about the art. And then he's like, maybe this one's more for you. And he drew him like this massive dwarf with like a hairy chest instead of like, because he's ripping on like, come on, dude, like get a new spiel. Who hates on good looking women in games? It's so weird. I don't understand that campaign. But
I have the internet anymore, but yes.
I think it's just a very vocal minority because the numbers speak for themselves. Every time Stellar Blade, like Eve does a splits pose, it sells 16 million copies for Christ's sake. So
it's very simple. It's the guys that just have to sell the idea that they're the good ones that don't like that stuff. It's not anyone seriously. It's like, no, you know who you are.
And we know these people in real life too. But yeah, so there's that. What other game? Sword of the Sea was another smaller. I like my indie games. Again, that's another title I kind of hate using. It's just, it's like indie bands. Like, what the fuck does that even mean? They're not indie. It's just a style of music now. Yeah. And same with video games. Like, pretty much 90% of these games we call indie aren't actual indie, unless you're really going down the line. But Sword of the Sea was by like a lot of the team that made Journey. You remember Journey?
Oh yeah.
Well, Brian hates it. I love Flower, which is also by the same people. So.
Flower, yeah.
Don't you dare, Jim.
Right, it's a great game.
So I'm into that, and then I'm about to start. So this is an indie game that I picked up. He's a Korean guy. It's called My Little Puppy. Okay, and with this game, I know it sounds corny, but I mean, as the people that listen to this know, I lost my dog in 2024. He was a Rottweiler. So this hit me in the heartstrings. I had to read it. And this collector's edition comes with this children's book. And it's like about the beginning. It's based on a real story. It's how this guy rescued this Welsh corgi from, the rescue. And then he passes away. So the game's about the afterlife and him trying to find his dad. So right away, I'm in on that. So that'll be my next one just to go through. And really, I'm trying to knock out some of these smaller games before Onimusha, Wolverine comes out. But like you, Brian, like I wrote this, I used to write about video games all the time. I wrote this thing back in like 2014. It's like games are almost better when you wait. And it's not because now I buy games on day one. I'm not trying to sound like some fucking guy. One, because I can afford it. Two, and I do it because I like to support the developers, like someone like that, for instance, that dude that I just posted up. Not so much like the big games, but I do like doing it now more because of physical games. But it's like, why am I going to play Grand Theft Auto 6 on release when in 6 months it's going to be an objectively better game through multiple patches? Like I always use it. I used the like Witcher 3. Like that game was so much fucking better 7 months out from release. It had like 12 patches. It had an alternative combat, alternative way to move. They added so much shit. And it's like, for people that matters, it's also like probably like half price at that point. You're penalized by playing games on day one. They're the shittiest version that they'll ever be. You might as well just wait if you can afford to.
As an early adopter and defender of No Man's Sky, what that game transformed into was like a 180-degree turnaround, and I was like, whatever. It was a mess at the beginning, but yeah, Jim and I. First, it was like just be cheap, wait till the game's cheaper. But then it's also like, what's going to happen with every game you love is a Game of the Year edition with all the DLC packed in, and you're still going to pay less because it's like. Think of every Bethesda title. You know they're going to release some really big DLCs. You could just wait. Now, like you, if I really love a series, like if it's Resident Evil, it's always going to be a day one buy for me.
Sure.
Certain developers, like indie ones, but that's why I said like GTA 6, I they'll do fine without me buying that day one. I don't think they're hurting in any way. So and also there's the reality of like, dude, I'm sure just like us, you have probably an insane backlog, both
It
digital and
hurts to think
physical.
about it.
And that's why this year we actually talked about like, I'm calling it the year of the cleanup. Like I made a rule. Every game I have, I'm a minimum putting an hour or two into, deciding if I'm gonna play through, but I have to play through so many before I can get a new game. Because I need to clean up the backlog. It's ridiculous.
I got it. So yeah, like GTA 6, I'll be honest though, and I know I'm going to be a minority. This game's going to break. It's They project it to be the 10th best selling game after like 3 days or 4 days. That's sort of like projections. And
I'm
they're
sure.
100% going to do it.
Yeah.
But at this point in my life, like you guys as a parent, and I was there when Grand Theft Auto became like a thing. Like 1 and 2 weren't really a thing, but I played them on the PS1. But when
Mhm.
it became GTA 3 and it became this phenomenon, like I played that and Vice City, and then honestly to a lesser extent San Andreas so much
Yep.
and so like vicarious that by the time 4 and 5 came out, I was like I know they're awesome, but I kind of I've already done it. Like they're so big, they're so all encompassing, they're so time consuming, and I'm like, I don't really know if I want to do this again. Like I guess my time
Mhm.
just became something else, and maybe to my detriment, they just became kind of rote to me, I guess.
No,
But
I'm
you
in the
can't.
same boat. I still haven't played 4 or 5, and like I like sandbox games, but I need like a gimmick almost to keep my interest. Like if you give me like a Hulk Ultimate Destruction or a prototype, like just give me some goofy powers to play around
Prototype.
with while I'm doing all that, then yeah, I'm in. But like the typical GTA formula, it's like I've been doing that since 1997.
Yeah,
Like I'm
like I've
kind of good.
stolen all the cars. I've run over all the whores. I've shot all the cops. Like, you know what I mean? I've done all this stuff. And don't
Mhm.
get me wrong, like the writing is world class. I know that shit is good. But it's kind of like, I don't know, man. Like, do I have 70, 80 hours to just go? And the way those games work is like, unless you're willing to really explore everything, is that like, is the game going to be awesome if you don't? I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I think I agree with you on that. And yeah, it's a fine line. I I think one thing of getting older is you're going to start curtailing and getting your specific genre, what you're willing to collect for. Even like I said, for me, whether it's movies or games, horror is going to be something I'm drawn to. I'm going to pay for the shit that I know may not last. Like I talked about the Halloween game and Hellraiser. Every game that tries to be an asymmetrical horror game these days, it's going to fail after some time, but I'm still going to buy it day one because I like the developers. It's usually the same ones that keep making like Killer Clowns and Friday the 13th and Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Still going to support them. Still going to do it. No, those servers ain't going to last forever, but I'll still have fun with them when I can.
And I think that's okay. Like these games, everyone needs, like these guys make these games like they need to be forever games.
Yeah.
Like I'm okay. Why is it not okay for a game to be awesome for a year and a half to 2 years and then it happens to go online? I get like the ownership aspect. I guess you can't actually play it anymore. But it's like these guys, if the multiplayer can't be, or this online aspect can't be this forever game and like a vision, they don't even want to do it. And I just think
Mhm.
that's unfortunate.
Yeah. Let a thing be a one off. It's just like everything, movies, games. Sometimes a one off is all you need. You don't need everything, doesn't need a sequel or a franchise, or just let it be one really fun, well done thing.
And like
That's
for
it.
me, you touched on the thing getting older, like having to give things up. Like for me, like a genre of video games I've had to give up. It's funny. Jim started with Street Fighter and it's fighting games. Like fighting games were like my shit. Like it's like I'm a competitive guy, love playing sports, and fighting games were like the thing too. But now I just can't bring myself to put all those hours in the lab like to practice. It
Yeah.
got so bad, like I didn't even buy Street Fighter 6. I fucking love Street Fighter. I love it. I went and covered Evo 1 year in 2012. Like I still have my badge. And I watch it all the time. It's just like to play these games now. I guess I just admire them from afar. It's unfortunate. Like, is there a genre you guys gave up?
Yeah, for me, it was racing games. Same deal. Like the more simulation-y ones, especially, I would dump way too many hours into it, and I just don't have the time. Like competitive gaming in general. I think you probably hit on the thing. Like if you're not spending enough time to be good, a lot of those competitive games anymore, everyone's sweaty as shit. You can't
Oh,
just casually hop on and just enjoy it. Like it won't be fun for you
you're going to
whatsoever.
get annihilated and everyone's going to hate you. And that's not
Yeah.
fun. And if it's a fighting game, you're going to get your ass kicked over and over and have to cry into your
Mhm.
pillow. That's the way it goes.
Oh, 100%.
Dude, what do you call it? Tekken 6. Back in my achievement hunting days, they gracefully there was only like 2 achievements you need to do anything online. It was basically get a win in this mode, get a win in this mode. It took me 3 fucking hours to get those 2 goddamn achievements. I just had to get 2 wins online, and it took me 3 goddamn hours. And one of them I only got because a guy timed out.
Wow. Yeah,
I don't know if that says more about me. Probably does. But I'm just saying, like, those guys do not fuck around. Like, I don't have the time to be pixel perfect with this shit. And
fighting
it's like,
games have this, like, I'm amazed. I've always been amazed that they're not more popular. But then again, when I really think about it, I understand why they're not, because the barrier to entry is high. Not in terms of just picking up the controller and beating someone, but when you actually play someone, I'm not even talking someone that's really good. I'm just talking
Mhm.
like a competent player. Like the difference level between a competent player and a guy who just picked up the controller is like light years. It just is. Like
Mhm.
a guy who has patience, isn't jumping all the time, knows a little bit about spacing. You're never going to win until you can master those basic techniques. And then the skill gap between a competent player and a guy who's pretty good and go online and win is astronomical there as well. And it just keeps going.
Mhm.
And like, whereas with Call of Duty, for instance, Call of Duty, you generally can jump on, and don't be wrong, as you move up the ladder, you're going to get fucking destroyed if you're not good and have awareness.
Mhm.
But you can kill a couple guys. It feels good to kill because there's other guys playing with you. Fighting games is just one on one. It's me
Yeah.
versus Brian, or it's me versus Jim, and you win or I win. There's no like cut and dry. So if I'm a guy that's going to take that to heart, and let's face it, there's a lot of guys out there that don't like to lose. They want to feel like even if they don't win, they want to feel like they can make an excuse for not losing, right? Fighting
Mhm.
games, you can't do that. You win or you lose. That's it.
Yeah.
So that's
That
why I
1v1 is
just
brutal.
honestly think they're not that popular.
well, what do you call it? Real time strategy is one of my favorite genres. And like, you want to talk about barrier to entry. Like, if you're trying to play
Yeah, that.
ladder on any RTS, like, good fucking luck. Like, I run a little second channel that's like, a little throwaway thing where I play StarCraft 2 on ladder. First time playing it again after like 10 years because I just fell off the whole thing. And dude, I'm hard stuck on like silver and gold league, which is like the 2 of the 3 bottom rungs. It's like, I'm not going to
Yeah.
get any better because I don't have the time to get better. So, I just go on there, dick around and have fun, get some wins here and there. But it's like, if I go against a remotely competent person, I'm just wrecked within 3 minutes. And I go, oh, well, that happened.
And RTSs are another, I guess, in terms of a genre that I aged out on, unfortunately, is definitely RTSs. I love them. Warcraft 3 was like my big one. Coming like
Mm.
right out of college. I really like the hero aspect, and it's funny because that's where League of Legends was born from. Was the Warcraft 3 hero mod that they added on? I forget what they called him for Warcraft 3, but anyway, that's where League of Legends came from. And I just thought that was cool. It gave like each faction like an identity. You could choose from these 2 or 3 heroes. It was really cool.
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell the story, but everyone has like these online stories of matches they played, and Warcraft is one of my top 3 for sure. That, a game in Madden, and something else, probably a fighting game, but whatever.
Yeah.
So
Just a
let's
sign.
move. Go ahead, Brian. Sorry.
No, I was just saying that's a sign of the times, man. One of my exes, when we were first getting in, or me and all of our friends were getting into Call of Duty, I would see her dad sitting there, and he was getting smoked. But I'll give him credit. Like after work, he would just want to come home and play a little bit of it, and I'm like, dude, his KD must be like 0.3, but he would just plow through it and just accepted it, and I'm like, nah, I could never be that bad. And then like you just year by year, you're like, man, why does my KD keep dropping? What's going on here?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it just you get worse. It's
Yes.
age is undefeated. Father time. Yeah, I'd like to
Always.
think I'm still good. I'm not good. My son at 6 kicked my ass at Wii boxing the other day. And I
Nice.
was fucking embarrassed, like straight up embarrassed. And he's like, and he's just jumping around like he thinks it's like real. He'll like jump into the table or it's I put it in the I don't like let him play video games. I've
Mhm.
realized that he's not ready for it. It's weird how you are as a like I don't know how you guys your kids are older though, so maybe it's completely different. But at 6 years old, I've just decided that he's not ready to play. He can't do it. Here and I don't know, he gets crazy. Like I'm convinced. Like I watched him play Mario Kart on the Switch too, and I'm pretty sure he would have pissed himself and not even known. Like wouldn't even have cared. And I'm like, that level of intensity at 6 is just not. He's not ready for it. So I'm like, the
Yeah.
Wii will be like this stopgap. He can jump around and do dumb shit. And yeah, I put it in the garage so in the summer we can just open it and he can do it. Well, he'll just play tennis. He goes flying into the fucking garbage bags, into like the weights and stuff, and he's crazy with it. We're having a blast. Now he thinks it's boring though. He thinks like he's not into it. He wants to play like some, he wants to play my games more or less. That's what he wants to
Yeah.
do.
Yep. That's how it happens.
Yeah, it is. So let's
He is a
move
gamer.
in to what I okay before we move into the topic proper. Brian, you said you're in for Wolverine moving for the next year. Jim, are you looking forward to Wolverine?
Yeah, you know what? It does look fun. I thought I kind of burned out on all those games, but as watching the trailer, just that level of gore, I'm like, all right, you got me here. And I do like how it's almost gonna be like Arkhamish because it seems like it's gonna be very stealth focused as well. So like, I mean, as Wolverine, it's probably gonna be a thing where you can play as you want. Either you can sneak up on people as them, or you're fucking Wolverine. You have Animanium, you heal. You can probably just go into crowds of guys and just slash away like crazy too. So it seems like you can almost have your like Devil May Cry fun along with your Arkham fun. It seems like it's going to have a little bit of everything. So that looks great.
Yeah, I'm with you. Like I know everyone's like anti Sony first party right now, but I'm all in on this game. The only thing that I like were you guys X-Men guys growing up? Did you like the
I
X-Men?
I geek out way too much over X-Men 97 right now than a 40-year-old guy should, but it gets me
Okay.
into feels.
Then we can have this conversation because I'm just going to give you my critique of Wolverine. Let me know if you vibe with me.
Mhm.
Wolverine, I've always had a problem with Hugh Jackman being cast as Wolverine. Not because he doesn't look like him, he looks like him. But Wolverine is like 5'7, 5'8. Now, I'm not saying the guy has to be 5'8, but he's an acrobatic, like master fighter that's lived for like 120 years. He's not like a 6'2 lumbering brute. That's not, and that's the way Jackman plays him. And I
Mhm.
feel like people have got this idea that that's the way Wolverine, like he just kills people with claws and that's the way he goes. No, he's like a master tactician and fighter and all this other shit. And unfortunately, I think Insomniac has taken like the Jackman role because I'm watching the footage. And don't get me wrong, I really like, I'm going to play it. I think it looks great, but he doesn't move that fast. He just doesn't seem like it, he looks a little lumbery. He doesn't look he doesn't look like this great fighter. He just looks like a guy that slaughters guys with claws. And then he tanks shit because he has a great healing factor. Does that make sense?
No, it does. I mean, yeah, what you're describing, and I think it's funny because we got in a debate about this yesterday about the argument of like casual fans versus ones that know the source material. And yeah, like for his selection, yeah, he is way too tall. Like, yeah, and I would argue you could even get someone's like 5'7" for him. But it's like tough, right? Because especially the way they did the X-Men movies, like sorry to piss off Cyclops fans. Cyclops is always the vanilla white bread of the series. I know there's certain
Shows you don't
one-offs.
read the comics. Shows you don't
No,
know
no,
shit.
no,
That's what that
no.
means.
He's
But
even
in
in the comics.
97,
He's
he's
boring.
great.
He is great. Yeah.
Yeah,
You're doing
like
him perfect.
they had to, they had to give him a little throw. But as the generic leader, you can't outshine everyone else. Wolverine and the comics and the shows, like to your point, he is way more nimble. And Hugh Jackman, yeah, he's not nimble whatsoever. He's definitely, as you described it, very, very tanky. But like it was also very clear, he's the star. of those
Yeah.
movies. So I get it. They needed like a name or someone who I guess could act well enough. They're probably also banking on Halle Berry, maybe pulling a little more weight with Storm, but yeah,
With her
either
4
way,
lines in the first movie.
I know she was like barely there. But I mean, the X-Men movies, I think as a whole, there's so many great ones mixed in with this shit. Like I still really love the first original. The second one, serviceable. Beyond that, it gets very
Yeah.
crazy. And then First Class was amazing. Like
First Class
that
is
one,
great.
yeah. Like so, I think there's little sparkles of like, oh, it's good. And they just saw today. I see like they're recasting for the new X-Men now moving forward. So I am really curious who's going to take that helm, and are they going to go with a more acrobatic Wolverine? I don't know.
Seems like the third movie in these trilogies always shit the bed. Because like first one's great, second one's really cool, third one, absolute pile. And it's happened through 2 different X-Men movie series so far. It's kind of impressive almost. It's like cursed.
I'm glad I'm with men of taste with the X-Men shit, because like the 90s it's X-Men, and I love the cartoon for sure. It's been great. And actually they've showed a lot of restraint with the lack of Wolverine. I know Wolverine finally got an episode. What was it? Episode 4 or 5.
And people are complaining about it.
Yeah, a lot of people like they thought it was like ill-timed,
a filler episode. Yeah, I'm like, it's building his goddamn character for something towards the end. Fucking just
like the one thing that show does is it moves incredibly fast. Like shit just goes bang, 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 and you're like episode or season 2 just started. You're just in the future, and they don't even really explain, really how it happened. Even the recap was so quick. But it reminds me of the kitschy of the original cartoon. That's kind of how it worked. It's the same idea with just a little more and a little better. Like, so it works. But I know we're deviating from the video game talk, but I'm just salivating. I want them to recast the X-Men. Like James Marsden is great as Cyclops. Don't get me wrong, like an older Cyclops. He's about the only one. Like, and it's a miracle that Magneto's worked, because Ian McKellen's such a great actor, but Magneto's not a decrepit old fucking man. Like, you look at him in the comics, Magneto's dope. He's fucking jacked. He's just got gray flowing locks, and like the way, like, everyone remembers X-Men like basically drawn by Jim Lee, who now runs DC. Like, that was like the pinnacle X-Men run. At least it was for me. I still have all the comics. And like, that's how he was always drawn. Now, like, Ian McKellen's like 80 years old, just all decrepit and making shit. Like, cast someone better. Fassbender was great, but I think they can even do better than that.
Yeah,
no, I
it depends where you want to take that role. But like, it's funny though. To that point, I remember when I saw, Ian McKellen as that, I was like, that's a weird choice. But the dude, he's got acting chops, even as an old dude. There's an intimidating.
Oh, he's an incredible actor. Don't get me wrong.
Like, so yeah, but no, I agree. Like, they obviously took liberties where they needed. They did, it was the decade of just black leather for everything. So the suits were what they were. Like, it was what it was. And
did you see I enjoyed it. Sorry, Jim, go ahead.
I was just going to say real quick, to be fair, I guess, to the casting of Ian McKellen, it's like he was a teenage Holocaust survivor, and the first movie was, is in 2000. So it's like, yeah, he probably would be a kind of old guy by then, but fuck it, it's a comic movie. He gives a shit.
Yeah,
like,
I get
make him
it.
look right.
I get it. But at least, like, if you look at the toys, did you see the toys that are coming out? Like the Magneto toy, he actually looks great. Whether he's going to look like that in the actual movie, I don't know. But if they get anywhere close to that, I'm like, okay, that works.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, what, for Avengers?
Yeah, the Doomsday. I know we're deviating.
I look up these toys now.
You guys hype? Are you into these movies, the Avengers movies, the MCU and shit?
Yeah. Jim hasn't watched basically any of them.
Oh,
I'm sorry. When you call a movie, no, fuck you. I've watched them. I watched almost all of them until Endgame. But when you call a movie Endgame, that's called the fucking end. So you didn't they just rushed into it because, the almighty dollar. They couldn't turn the money down. But it's like, we've seen how much of a mess post Endgame MCU has been for the most part. But I am still kind of hyped for Avengers. It's like, fuck. It's like, I can't deny. It's like, Downey, Robert Downey Jr.'s back, even though they're going to have to explain, multiverse shit, whatever, for him being Doom. Having the X-Men thrown in there seems a little ham-fisted. I wonder how they're going to do that, but it's the first one I've actually been interested in. Like, I don't care about Ant-Man and the Wasp. I don't care about Shang-Chi. I don't care about Eternals, and neither did anyone else. But
No,
this,
they're
it's
not
like,
even mentioned in the new one. No.
I know they just pretend that didn't happen. But yeah, this one, it's like, all right, fuck it, I'll see this one.
Yeah, it'll be great. So let's move into the topic du jour. How do you guys want to talk? I mean, we'll do the state. There's so much going on in gaming right now. Like I said, the good, bad, and the ugly. I think it'd be easy to start with PlayStation, but you know what? Let's start with Xbox. You guys sound. Are you Xbox guys? Because
We are
you know I say
rough,
that. I heard
rough
Jim
goings.
say when I was achievement hunting. You know, a lot of times I'll
Mhm.
hear like you can kind of tell right there, trophy hunting or achievement hunting. Jim says achievement hunting.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I mean, don't get me like for Brian and I, like the 360 was life for its entire
Oh,
like
yeah.
10-year run. Like I had a PS3 as well, but like the PS3 just weirdly never felt fun. Like if I had a game on both, even besides it running better, I would always just gravitate to the 360 version of it. Xbox Live was so much better than PSN back in the day. Having party chat alone
Oh
just
yeah.
set it apart for just being able to sit around and play with the boys. I mean, it was a party console during the Rock Band boom, all that stuff. We were apologists for E3 2013 for the Xbox One, for as disastrous as that showing was. We have our Xbox Ones. We played the shit out of that. I never got around to getting the series because I was like, well, I need some more games than just Game Pass. So it's either do that or build a computer. So I eventually did that. But yeah, I mean, I still love the Xbox brand and I hate what happened to it.
So let's build from that. Xbox is in flux. They
It's generous.
feed these morsels. I'm trying to frame this in like an appetizing way, and then they'll let you guys take it away. But they switched from Phil to Asha, and it's funny. It's about 2.5 years ago. I wrote this thing back when I still used to write about video games. I wrote this thing. It was an Xbox centric website, and I wrote for Xbox, the Phil Spencer era is over. They went fucking crazy. Like I was like enemy number one. But the thing is, they just hated that it was true because I backed everything up. And going back to like the Xbox, the 2013 defense, like Don gets all the hate and rightfully so, but Phil was right there. And ever since then, nothing got rectified. Nothing at all. And now we're seeing, I'm actually become like a bit of a Phil defender because I can't honestly believe that some of the things that Asha is doing, Phil was that bad that he couldn't have done it. I'm a firm believer in Xbox land that towards the tail end of Phil's tenure, he was being told what to do. And he just did it. And being a good company man, because that's the way business goes, it was. And then for whatever reason, they've pivoted with Asha, and she's allowed to take that good vibe and make it seem like it's her thing. Because these seem such obvious decisions, do they not? Like what some of the things she's been doing, they seem so obvious. And here we are, like their hardware sales are pitiful. They're like honestly the worst they've ever been. And I can't really see it coming back. But I'm going to give it to you guys. Jim, you start. For Xbox, what does the rest, well, I guess this generation is kind of over. But what does the future look like for Xbox? Good, bad, ugly.
Here's the thing. There's so many chances Xbox has had in the last year or two to just generate some kind of good PR or generate some kind of good move. And they just refuse to do it, it seems. Now, right now, Asha is saying all the right stuff, but like, it's like, oh, we're focusing back on the Xbox brand name. And everyone goes, that's good. And then they go, but we just closed 10 studios. That's bad. But, we're going to lower the price of Game Pass. That's good. Oh, but we're also taking 500 videos off this service and getting rid of this and all this other crap. And you go, that's bad. It's like the Simpsons monkey paw. Like nothing ever comes without a caveat right now. And at the end of the day, you just sit there and go, just cut the fucking cost. Like I get that the Xbox, and there was just that report that came out that up until their recent price hikes, every series that was sold for $150 loss per unit. And that's really bad. And I get that that's really bad. But in my head, I can't get past that you're Microsoft. Like you can take a loss leader like that, but you're like, what you're doing right now isn't working. So you need to do something drastic. Like you're already losing money. lose a little more, cut the price of your goddamn console and make it appetizing. Everyone else is raising prices because of this AI boom and all these shortages. You cut the price, you put yourself back in the market, even if you don't have games. You're cutting the price of Xbox, you're cutting the price of Game Pass again. That's good. Cut the price of the hardware so people actually freaking buy it.
Mhm.
It's that simple. And they refuse to do it because the shareholders don't want to see more losses or, margins and crap like that, which, that's corporate America at this point. I get it, but you have to do something. And that seems like the easiest win you can possibly get. You make your system $400, people go, oh shit, I can play like real games for $400. That's amazing in this day and age. Like, you're already losing money on this goddamn thing. What are you going to do? Lose more money for the chance of coming back, or you don't do anything and you just lose outright? Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, I'm with you. Before Brian jumps in, it's like it's a half step here, two steps back in another way, like you're saying. But and a lot of people say, oh, it's easy for you to say, Microsoft lost. But I'm like, are you in or are you out? Because if you're in, Xbox has really never made money. I mean, they can talk about Game Pass being whatever the fuck it is forever, but they would never really reveal the full numbers. They would tell you revenue, but then never tell you expenses associated. Like, you didn't know like the costs of maintaining it. And from the leaks of just from some game developers, what they were paid, at least initially, to have their games on there, these were substantial. And like those subscriber numbers weren't anywhere near what their projections were. But like you, their hardware's gonna be getting its ass kicked forever. Phil made it even more unappetizing by raising the price and doing other shit. They almost seemed like they punted on the era or generation a year and a half ago. And now we're here. They say they're making a new piece of hardware, but they raised the price. Xbox isn't profitable, but they're worried about losing money on consoles. It's like, are you in or are you out? Because this halfway bullshit with Xbox, to me, you might as well not be here. You might as well not. I mean, as a hardware manufacturer, you might as well be there as the best third party overall, supplying great games across the board. Because on the games note, it's like they can talk. Asha can say all this great stuff. That she can cater to the Xbox fanboys across social media, and they'll tongue the balls and lap it up nonstop and regurgitate this stuff. But without any follow through, without any games, without anything, it's just words without action. It doesn't mean anything, and that seems to be for a long time now. That seems to be what Xbox is like. They don't have any new franchises. Anything that's new on Xbox is just they purchased that studio and now it's theirs, whether it's anything from Bethesda. And they're cutting the greatness of some of these studios off at the knees, like id. And like, what's going to happen to the rest? It really sucks to see. But anyone with foresight could have seen that this was going to happen. Like, they couldn't manage their own fucking studios. They couldn't. Like, Matt Booty, why does he still have a job? I don't get it. He can't manage anything. They couldn't develop anything. All of their games were in flux. Whether doesn't matter what it is. They've fucked up Halo. It seems to be like a thing that you really I really don't get how you can fuck up Halo. But they did it. And here we are. Like, so even if they're going to move forward with this new hardware, what even games do they have besides Forza, another Gears of War? Halo kind of seems dead, which sucks. I don't know.
They had that clay pot making fighting
Sick.
game thingy.
Jim, you played
that
a
was
game
like
about growing flower, so don't sit there and disparage.
flour is a delight, Brian. And flour did not cost like $100 million to make either. So you shut your whore mouth. But yeah, but no, to your point, it's like, and back to real quick to Phil Spencer, like, I think Phil had his heart in the right place, but I think,
agree.
I don't know if it was him or just the bigwigs at Xbox Gaming in general above him, just thought the gravy train of COVID was never going to stop. And that's what they went all in on buying the studios, all in on Game Pass, and it blew up 100% in their face. The game companies working for it hated it because they didn't get the direct sales. So then all these companies are going away. Everything that you basically just said, how everything's just been mismanaged left and right. And like, I'm sitting here saying just, throw money at the wall to fix it, like, by taking these losses. But they tried to throw money at the wall and it just didn't work. And now they're $1 trillion in the hole, basically. So it's like, how do you come back from that? Like, it's what you said. You either completely do everything you can to get people buying you again, or you're the new Sega at this point.
And yeah, before I hand it off to Brian, I'll just because again, to further that whole like one decision is here and the other decision's here, it's like I don't think the decision to go third party was Phil's. I just don't. I mean, maybe it was a conversation at best, but ultimately, I just think after the acquisition, they're like, the money isn't here, blah, blah, blah. And like you said, they just threw all this money at them. And it seemed like it's like, well, the piggy bank's open. Who cares? And you can tell by the emails that leaked. Like they're like, maybe we can buy Nintendo. Maybe we can do this. We can buy anybody we fucking want. And that made them look bad. It made Phil look bad too. But it's like you're either in or you're out. Xbox at this point, if they're going to stay and be a platform and a manufacturer, they're going to have to spend a lot of money and they're going to have to take losses. They're going to have to get kicked in the nuts with their hardware. Like they're going to think Sega Dreamcast. They're going to have to do that. If they actually want to make this a go, as opposed to just prolonging the inevitable of being a third party, developer and an immensely successful one. They'll sell like tens of millions of games, tons of games. But if they actually want to be like a hardware manufacturer and platform as we know them as Xbox, they're going to have to release, like you said, a $400, $450 console. They're going to have to get their games churning. Like, how don't we have a Fallout? How is Elder Scrolls 6 like still 3 years away or whatever the fuck it is? Like, how is this happening? Like, I understand that people will say, oh, it's much more complicated than that. Is it? Like, is it really? I just don't think it is.
And Starfield did not do what they were hoping it was going to do either. It's like the first big like Bethesda game for Xbox. So it's like, oh shit. And like, I guess to give them a little bit of credit, like I actually didn't play Starfield. I just, it didn't take off the way like Fallout and the other ones did. I know Brian
I
played
think the game's fucking awful. Like, I think it's like pretty much dog shit. Like, I think it's bad. Like, everything we mentioned, No Man's Sky. It's No Man's Sky is now the game that they promised and so much more. Everything that it can't do what No Man's Sky does. And then everything that people love Bethesda for, it still seems like it's trapped in 2014. Like a lot of that stuff. And I don't know. I don't know what to say. People say I'm hating. I don't know. I feel like I'm just kind of being realistic.
Yeah. So they're obviously in flux. And then, all these studios are closing, but like they bought a shitload of studios that never made money either. Like you could be mad that Double Fine's either being sold or like, going back to being a single thing, but none of their games were ever super big hits. They're all like, critical darlings. So again, it's like, can't be surprised when all these studios you buy that never made money before aren't making money either.
And that, yeah, exactly.
Studio darling.
Like, you don't buy Double Fine to become this $5 million seller. You buy them to insulate your other titles, to give you this critical prestige. And that's why I don't understand. Like, the decision making just seems like it's here, that 2 years later it's here, and then it's back to where it was with a different look. I just don't get it. I don't.
Yeah, I mean, you guys hit on pretty much most of the stuff. I think the one thing not being said enough, and to me the obvious thing here, is Xbox needs to make that they don't know their identity. Do they want to be a services based, get Xbox Game Pass on everything? We talked, like, I'm still waiting for the announcement for that to just be a thing on Switch so they can have their games on there. Or you strong arm everyone and say, fuck you. The only way moving forward you're going to play Call of Duty or any of the Bethesda games or Overwatch or World of Warcraft is through Xbox hardware. Like, fuck off PlayStation, even Steam, like, pull it all from that shit. And then guess what? It is the powerhouse in gaming, because whether people like it or not, you do a move like that and you really strong arm, that would change the game 100%. But
and I'm with you. Like, if you're good, again, if you're gonna do it, like just do it.
Do it.
Because everyone's always you're not gonna kill. I understand this runs because Call of Duty's having like it's one of its worst years. And then I say that as they just re-released, Black Ops 1 and 2, and they're shitty remasters, and they blew the doors off sales wise. So
Oh yeah.
you're not going to kill this franchise. But I don't want them to do this because I want their games available everywhere because I'm not buying another Xbox. You'd have to convince me in 2 years that it's a light year change. But if I'm running Xbox and I sit in that boardroom and I'm trying to avoid like all the business and numbers shit for this conversation, because quite frankly, it gets boring and who cares? But if I sit in there, I'm like, guys, we're the fucking doing this. We're not. Like, these are our games. And if we're going to be Xbox as we know it moving forward, we have to act like that's who we are.
Yeah.
Like, let's own it. I don't know if you can. I think the PC might be a pivot too hard, but at the very least, you have to just walk back all of it.
But honestly, on the PC, they have the Xbox app. So allow you to do it through the Xbox app, just don't allow it on Steam. And
I guess,
yes,
but
it's
in
like
a
that
business
immediate
one,
cut.
Brian,
Yeah. Oh, you would be
it's
fucked.
like if they're both available, and this has always been the idea with the next Xbox hardware, if like, oh, we're going to have Steam on it. Well, no one's going to buy the Xbox version of the game if Steam's there.
Yeah.
Why the fuck would you ever do that? You would just buy the Steam version and play it on the Xbox, and then like they get no revenue. It doesn't make any sense, right? I don't know.
They would have to just accept massive losses initially for all those major franchises, Doom, all the Bethesda games, Call of Duty, like all these things, and then eventually people will want it, and they would. It's like, so either do that or, like you said, stop playing the hardware game and just go into a full services and just be the biggest third party developer of all time.
Yeah, those are the two paths. I completely agree. It sounds like we're in consensus. That's great.
Yeah.
Quick side note, the Xbox computer app also fucking blows. I hate goddamn using it whenever I'm playing an Xbox game on my PC. And the whole time I'm like, man, I wish this was just on Steam at this point. So, they're trying to enter that market, but if you have something that sucks compared to, the market leader, it's like no one's going to want to use it anyway. So just put everything back in your goddamn console.
Like, PC guys are just, if it's not Steam, it's not anything for us. So that's just kind of the way it's going to be, and it's going to maintain. That's not changing. So,
yeah.
All right, let's pivot to our beloved Nintendo. And listen, I'm not defending anything to do with stopping physical games. But the only thing I'll say is PlayStation's taking all the heat when everyone else pretty much wants to get out of the physical game realm as well. And Nintendo with the game cards is just a half step towards doing it. I mean, it's something at the very least. It's better than nothing. But is it? I don't know. So Nintendo.
Yeah, I mean,
go ahead, Jim.
Yeah, for the game card thing real quick, it's like, yeah, it's nice that you can still give someone a card to put in their system, but, you still have to download the entire game. It's still basically just a license, but at the very least, it's something that you can kind of resell or have or reuse. So it sucks that we're at a day and age where, like, that's a better option than what we're getting from full digital futures. But I'm a huge Switch guy. You can see behind me that I went full bore. Being a parent, the Switch is just so goddamn convenient to just sit there and play that while my kid, can watch their show or is doing something, or if the wife's watching her show, I can sit there and play the Switch. It just became the thing that I wound up gravitating towards. And I have a Switch too, and it's kind of wild that we're like a full year in and we don't have a Zelda game yet. We don't have a Mario game yet. No one knows what we're going to get with Smash Brothers if the developer is going to come back for that even at all. So they're in a weird spot where, like, they're still living off goodwill, but people are also complaining that it's like, well, where the fuck are the Nintendo games? Because we still, for the most part, we don't have any. We just have a shitload of upgraded Switch games and, a couple of games that are nice. Like DK Bonanza is cool. Mario Kart World kind of sucks. Definitely not worth $80. But besides that, though, like, I mean, for a guy like me, like, it's still gonna be my main thing just because I can take it anywhere and I can play more powerful games on it. Cool. But yeah, they're in a weird spot, but they also made a genius decision 20 years ago to get out of the arms race with graphics. And it's just paid off for them, except for the Wii U. But besides that, it's paid off, dividends for them by just being a company that makes games that are fun to play.
Yeah, I feel like I feel like a lot of people with Nintendo are just like you. I'm a Nintendo fan. I've been grandfathered in. I know there's problems, but
Oh yeah.
all of it doesn't matter because Nintendo's going to be Nintendo. They're going to give me my games that I like, and that's what carries Nintendo. Although I should say that because, like, your quote unquote indie games and your smaller offerings seem to do extremely well on the Switch, and like and those are kind of buoying some of the stuff, at least with the last Switch anyway. Like the Switch 2, I guess it's funny because I feel like a lot of people want to say it's been a disappointment, but no one actually wants to say it's a disappointment. You know what I mean? Because it's Nintendo and it's a Switch. And almost a lot of people don't even consider it like a new, I shouldn't say this, but like I guess the average consumer they're going to buy, they're like, it's still the Switch. It's not like the PS3 or the PS4 or 5. It just seems like a newer version of just the Switch because they look the same. They're not really fundamentally, visually different in terms of like holding the hardware. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, I just think Nintendo's fan base is wholly their own. The people that are in for Nintendo are in. They're not really shedding anybody, which is great for them. Uh, and like it's hard to deny. Like I have a Switch One. I've held off on buying a two because I don't need it. But as my son grows, am I going to deny him that? It just seems, again, like Jim just said, it's easy. It makes sense. Like it's just, yeah. And I want him to play Mario. I want him to play these games. So I guess I'm going to be in too. Come hell or high water, even though Mario Kart sucks, even though there's nothing. But
Yeah. I mean, the only games my daughter really plays are either Mario Kart or Mario Party. So, like, she's not a huge gamer, but she'll sit down and play them with us and have a good time. And it's like, that's all I need. Like, her friends come over, we break out the old Switch. It's still connected to the TV upstairs so they can beat the shit out of it and just play, Mario Kart on that. So,
mhm.
it's fun for them, has a shitload of games for me. Like, I know Nintendo, like, at least 3 times a year comes out with some decision that everyone goes, what the fuck are you doing? Or they become the bad guy of the week. But then you just kind of forget about it and it goes back to status quo.
Don't they seem to skate like most, like if PlayStation did what Nintendo did in terms of like the anti-consumer stuff and just hammering down on guys that are even dare to mod one of their games or create like an homage or something. I feel like Nintendo gets shit for it, but it's kind of like you said, Jim. It's forgotten in like a week or two, and people are like, oh, that's fine.
Yeah, see, that's where I don't give Nintendo a slide. Like
I don't either. I'm with
they
you.
are the worst fan service of all three of the big. And they fucking will say, you're gonna eat this shit and you're gonna like it eventually because it's still Mario, it's Donkey Kong, it's look at this fun new mechanic. It's kid friendly. It's the most kid friendly. They know they have that market sold. Had they not made the Switch just a convenience machine, it wouldn't have done dog dick. Like it would have done numbers, but it would have continued on the trend that Wii U did. And it was their smartest decision. Like, all right, get rid of the Game Boy and all those, like make something convenient. They're geniuses when it comes to gimmick and the actual hardware and their main titles. Yeah, they'll be able to live off them kind of forever, but they don't give a fuck about fans. And when they re-release games and at fucking full price and they're just a fresh coat of paint, or they're making you repay for the same game on their eShops over and over, no matter how many versions you have. Yeah, they are going to go down that digital path. They try that. You can already start seeing when they fucking sell you just cardboard cards. And like Jim said, even the carts themselves, there's literally no better. They're
They're
download
placeholders.
codes. Yeah. Like, so if anyone has this idea that Nintendo cares for physical and cares for the people, the only thing that could keep that kind of true is what you pointed out. Like, they are so sue happy. They're going to be very weary to let anything out digitally that they can't fully control. And that's probably their only reason they haven't done it already. Once they figure out a good way to really lock in their digital things that can't be copied, emulated, or distributed, they will do it in a heartbeat. So yeah, Nintendo is not this like good guy company. I think they are the worst of the bunch, but they just make good shit. And yeah, it's like it is what it is.
Yeah,
They're
people
they're
forgive
the
them.
guy. Yeah, they're the guy that comments, "Oh, why do they have to sexualize people?" That's who they are. That's
I like that
exactly who they
analogy.
are. Yeah,
They're they're the virtual signaler guys, and then they're just cutting everyone's legs off when
yeah.
they get the power in the bar. Yeah,
They're like,
but
"See,
like you
this is
said,
the stuff that's family friendly and it's convenient. So love us." And it's like, and you're gonna pay every. They fucking charge you for cardboard. Like this is what they do.
yeah, like going after the fans. Their online service sucks. Their hardware is underpowered, and they never take a loss on it.
Yeah,
And it's kind of built like shit. And then, like you said, all the remasters are full price, and
yeah.
they were the first to charge more for their video games. And I really feel
They
like
set all the
Nintendo,
bad trends.
yeah, like Nintendo is the benefit of this double standard, and they always
Mm-hmm.
win because I feel like if Xbox did it or PlayStation did it, they would get absolutely obliterated. It'd be in the news cycle forever, and guys would keep talking about it. But Nintendo's just like keeps trucking through, man.
Yeah,
And it's hard because, like, I mean, obviously, even though I was a Sega kid, I obviously still loved Nintendo and I grew up with them. But I think after the GameCube is when I was done. I was just like, I'm kind of,
yeah.
and
I
I
was
don't
the
like
same
saying
way.
this, but it is the truth for me personally. I don't think other people should feel like this. I just kind of grew out of them. That's
Yeah.
it. I've said that before, and
It's
people like get mad at me for saying it. I'm like, listen, man, I'm not saying you had to, or I'm not saying they're kiddie games. I'm just saying I personally, I played my 10th iteration of Mario and all the best.
yeah,
I'll just end it like this. With Nintendo, I feel like I've played all the best versions of their franchises. I played the best Mario Kart. I played the best, Smash Brothers, the best Mario, the best Zelda. I don't like the new Zeldas personally. I don't I feel like they're not really Zelda for that matter. I mean, it doesn't mean they're bad games. They're just not what I want from a Zelda game. So I just kind of bow out. That's it. I'm out.
yeah.
But in terms of Nintendo, I don't want them to go away. I want them to
No,
be here and keep
no,
making
they have
awesome
to
shit
stay
in the way
around.
they do
Yeah.
it. Yeah. Anything else on
And they're the only
Nintendo?
one
We
you can
good?
afford now, so you better fucking like them at this point.
Yeah, that's true. So now we come to the vaunted PlayStation. I'm not going to say anything. You guys, who wants to take the lead? Brian, you go.
I mean, yeah. I mean, what can you say? It's funny. We just talked about Xbox deciding you go all in on a decision. PlayStation, they're going balls to the wall, all in. They're doubling down on this shit. There was an interview yesterday or the day before where they're like, "Yeah, it is what it is. Like, we are not going to have the capacity or like any capability for you to have a disc." We talked about this yesterday. The thing is, I love the modding and pirate community because what will happen is people will figure out a way to burn the digital copies onto discs. As long as they're USB, they'll attach a hard drive to whatever the new PlayStation is, and they'll purposely be like, I'm going to still play this pirated version physical on your system that you don't allow it. It's the ultimate. These people that love to say, just it's a digital future, get over it, whatever. It's like, but it doesn't have to be. Like, and that's the thing. It's like people are making an inevitability. Like they're trying to compare it to the horse and the cart, to automobiles. It's like, no, you that's not a true comparison.
It's a
You
horrible
are
comparison.
Yeah, you are making an obvious choice to do something. If you said it was going digital and game prices were being cut by how much you're fucking saving from turning down all the production of the physical media, maybe there's an argument there, but you're not doing that. Games will still be $80 or higher. And yeah, they're just taking on the full bad guy cap. And this is where they're going to now run with what Nintendo kind of toyed with. And I think Xbox and Nintendo will see what happens at PlayStation. And if it doesn't really hurt them as bad as we think it will, they're just going to follow suit. And it's a sucky thing. You can make the argument Jim is a victim of someone who had to move houses, and you see all that shit behind him. yes, physical media takes up a lot of space. It's not
Fuck,
convenient.
that sucked.
It can be damaged. Like there's so many factors to it. But as we've seen recently with servers going down, your digital library is just as easily could be fucked over. If a game loses a license and that you purchased at full price in digital, and then it's gone, you have no recourse. You have nothing you can do about it. It's gone. So the only thing this will codify is that pirates are the only preservationists of gaming, and moving forward with PlayStation games, I would hope this reflects in a very big dip in their numbers. Like, I hope the PS6 doesn't still trend in the top 10 as a system seller, because it really shouldn't. But then that will also tell us the story as guys in our 40s. Are we just the old guy kind of yelling at the crowd, and the young people are all like, no, digital is the way. You guys are just old. Get over it. I don't know.
And yeah, to piggyback off it, it's PlayStation's in a funny place too, because for the most part, outside of like, their rampant, they're like, terrible back end where their encryption is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like, except for all their like random hacks you get like once every 5 years, they didn't have all that much bad press kind of ever. Like, people complain the PS5 really doesn't have as many games as it should at this point. But really, until this whole digital, physical thing, they were kind of smooth sailing once again for the most part. And like right now, they are the bad guy because I get, if you look at the stats, you'll see like 90% of all game sales are digital. And, for them to just be like, look, they even said in their statement, they're like, we hear you, we get it, but we're going this route. And from a business standpoint, yeah, that makes sense. And they don't need to codify the fan base because they've been number one forever. They've been number one since the PS1 as far as consoles goes. They've never lost. So, they don't have to do these things. And we can all sit there and flail and bitch. And I know people on Twitter are saying, oh, we're going to do like a PlayStation blackout for, this like week and like a month from now or something like that. But, a couple thousand people on Twitter doing it isn't going to affect PlayStation because the people playing, say what you want about gun and ball, but that's what, you know, that's what sells all the games. That's what keeps these companies alive. They're just going to keep playing the games. They don't even know about it or care. So there's nothing really you can do about it. And it's like, I hate that there's not going to be digital. I hate there's going to be a thing in the future where there will just be AAA games that are lost media and we're just going to have to deal with it because you lose a license. And it's bullshit. We're already seeing it when like that outage happened last week. People are trying to play games on their PlayStation 3 that they paid for outright, and they still couldn't play a game that was fully downloaded to their console, fully paid off, not through a service or a freebie, because they couldn't sign into PSN. So it's insane.
Is that during the outage? Is that when that happened?
Yeah. Yep.
And that's fucked because that's a specific PS3 problem because PS3 emulation is non-existent. And even you can't even, I'm talking officially, it exists on PC, but it's still not remotely good. I mean, even the most powerful PCs have trouble trucking through a lot of the library. And it just really sucks. Like they promised they were gonna, I guess promise is a strong word, but they did say they were gonna figure it out. I don't have any hope that they're going to. And it really sucks because like it's funny, the 360 and the PS360 generation, like the PS3 actually wins that generation consoles wise sold. Yeah. But everyone feels like the 360 one because it did win America. But in a year less on the market, they still sold, I don't know how many. Is it 10?
It was like 10 million more units, something like that. Yeah.
10 million more units or something. I said 1,000 doesn't make any sense. Drink. But yeah, and it's like, here's just this awesome PS3 lineup because they just put banger after banger. They just threw everything at the wall. Like there's so many great fucking games on the PS3. And they knew most of these things weren't going to sell. They just put them out. And now they're just stranded. I say stranded. Yes, I can fire up my PS3. Yes, I can do that. But like it's a pain in the ass. Everything was bolted on. it wasn't like Xbox Live and Xbox Online. The PS3 store originally launched from a browser. They had to like retrofit all of this stuff. And I remember I was a primarily PS3 guy. Now as a single player guy, I didn't really give a lot of shits, although I still play fighting games. But it's like I looked over across the aisle, I'm like, man, it's like they're doing it so much better. Um, but getting back to the PlayStation, it's just like the physical game argument. I mean, like you guys, I mean, my collection is abundant. I buy physical games, period. End of story. Unless it's an online only game, like some of these indie games, like that's their only offering. But like, I'll just give an example. I didn't buy Hollow Knight Silk Song because I knew the physical would eventually come out, and it comes out in a
Yep.
month and a half, and it's on its
Yep.
way.
Same.
So, like, that's what I do, and that's what Brian does. And there's a lot of guys. There are hundreds of us. It's yet based on the outcry online, you'd think there's so much more. But I knew this. And again, it's like the people with the loudest voices do none of the shit. Whether it's online activism for the outrage topic of the day, or it's this with physical gaming. If these people actually bought fucking games instead of posting online about it, we wouldn't even be on this conversation. It wouldn't be a 90-10 thing. It'd be a 75-25. And PlayStation in their board meetings and their projections, because no matter what anyone says, they project this stuff and they're really fucking good at it. If the dollar is the only argument, they're really good at it. And that's kind of ultimately what they only care about now. I mean, PS3 to PS4, I think the argument was a little bit different, but PlayStation's just on a different trajectory now. It's dollars. That's it. But if it's just that, they're going to look at the physical market and say, we don't care, because the digital customer matters a lot more than the 5 lost physical customers. And that hurts for me to say that, but it's the fucking truth. It just is the truth. And they're banking on the fact that all these people that say they're staunch physical gamers and aren't going to come back, that over 50% of them are just going to give in. And you know what? They're right. They're right. And that sucks too. So do I think there was a way better way to go about this? Absolutely. PR wise, we can no longer subsidize the physical gamers. We got to charge $10, $15 more for this. And in the process of this, we're going to make manuals. We're going to give you more, because ultimately, why are we physical gamers doing this? Because we like shit. It's not because we just want the disc. We remember the days of when we got more. So give us more and we'll fucking pay for it. We would pay for it. I would. If you gave me, like, there's this guy on Etsy, too old for gaming. He makes custom PS5 manuals and PS4 manuals. Okay.
Oh,
and they're really good. Like, I'm talking like really good. He gets an artist. They're not remotely amateur. I just spent $160 and bought 14 of them. Like, they're great to have. Astrobot, Bloodborne, all the Final Fantasy games, like the Rebirths, on and on. And I look at this shit like, this is what I'll pay for it. And I'm guarantee you guys probably would in certain instances. So that was an avenue to go. Like, I just don't get why you cut it off at the knees, because one, it's really bad PR, as you see. Can they survive it? Yeah, they're going to. And in a year and a half or 2 years, it's probably going to be a moot point and everybody's going to be on board, as sad as that is. And I get it. They had to say this before the PS6 comes out, because I think at some point the PS6 wasn't a digital only console. It was going to be a physical console. But that was, I don't know how quick that decision was made. I've listened to guys talk. From the sounds of it, a lot of developers, like big developers, were blindsided by it. But I'll tell you, Take-Two wasn't. Because GTA 6 isn't coming out with a fucking disc.
Yeah.
So they knew. But from the sounds of it, some of the first party developers didn't even know. And they were like, what the fuck? This really sucks. So that's just one aspect of it. And then you get to the aspect of, everyone knows the PS6 is going to happen. At least the Xbox talks about Helix in some nebulous form, what it's going to be, whether it's an OEM version or, open platform. I don't know what it's going to be, but we know it exists. The PS6 is an inevitability, but they don't talk about it. But we know with hardware prices and all this shit skyrocketing, they're at the point where, I mean, R&D happens over years and years. These things, the truth is, they're probably, if not finished manufacturing, in the process of right now. And what are they going to do? Spend hundreds of millions constantly to store these things because they, the online diaspora say they're not ready for it? No, I just think they're going to have to release this thing, and it's going to come out in. I mean, there's a theory it comes out at the end of next year, which I think is crazy.
That's
Like, I
insane.
think that's nuts. But in some capacity, if you're a business person, which I think that's what they're running off, that's the physical game discussion came from. You're like, okay, it's going to be $1,000, but if we wait, it's going to be more, and we're going to lose our access to chips, and we're going to pay all these many more millions to store these fucking things. And rather than selling 12 million in the first 2 weeks, we're going to sell 5.5. And it doesn't matter because it's a win at the end. And it's funny because at the beginning of the PS5 generation, you heard, Jim talk about, we believe in generations. Well, that was the biggest line of bullshit you've ever heard. And
Yeah.
we're at the point now where we're a generationless medium. It doesn't matter anymore. Like, will we even ever get like a PS6 exclusive? Maybe at the tail end, if that ever. I don't know.
Well, you'll get another remake of Last of Us 2. It'll be perfect.
No, God. And it'll
But
look
yeah,
like Bella Ramsey this time.
Yeah, right. Oh god. And it's a weird, like, to your point of how weird it feels to have a new console come out. It probably is a business decision, but it's like we're already at the point of like the law of diminishing returns with new hardware.
No.
Like you're not going to get over that uncanny valley no matter how realistic and how much ray tracing and all that bull crap you try to put in there. It's still going to look like a game.
Like,
And
what do you guys think is this generation? I don't care if it's a cross generation game or not. What do you think's the best looking game this generation?
ooh,
Or it doesn't have to be like the top, like one that you see as like this is me. I mean, there's a lot of amazing looking games. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'll give you mine.
Like for like the Series X and PS5
All
right
of them.
now?
All of them, yeah.
I mean, Switch is never going to be there.
No, you're right. I mean, it's an art style argument, but
I mean, that's the thing. When we say best looking,
I'm talking like pure like visual fidelity, blow your socks off.
Yeah, I mean, oof.
Well, I'll just go. I mean, it's hard. You can say whatever you want about the game, but I look at Horizon Forbidden West, and I'm like, I don't know if there's a better looking game. Now, there may be a better game that has more pores in skin or more hair textures, or the ray tracing in another game might be slightly better. But I'm talking like as a total package. You take this game, and it's a cross-gen game. And it's just like astronomically good looking. And it's like, and I know we say this, it doesn't matter as diminishing returns, but I'm like, if we're not pushing forward, what is this medium? I don't know. Are we just staying the same? Because what's the point? To grow the audience. But I don't know how much the gamers like you and me, as much as I want to think like we're like this, like we're the people, it's almost to the point where they don't really need to talk to us anymore.
No.
Like, what's like almost a half of the revenue on PlayStation is from like 10 games, Roblox, all this awful, like fucking awful video games. I'm sorry, Roblox fucking sucks. It looks like shit. It's like this Timu fucking garbage. And you're a bad parent if you let your kid play that game. I don't know. You get mad at me. I don't care. But like, I'm not even talking about the predators that are on it. I'm just saying straight up, like, if you're a dad with any taste, how dare you let your son play fucking Roblox with all the options out there? He's going to grow up with problems. Make him play like a man's game.
Well, it's funny, but the thing is, now we're in a culture where you also have to realize the games that get popular are the ones that make clippable TikTok, Instagram, YouTube shorts, and Roblox, Fortnite, COD. Those are the thing. No one is making a TikTok about Super Mario. Like and I say that in jest. Obviously, people do, but I'm saying the ones that go
I
off
get it.
big, yeah, it's like with the younger generations too. It's just that's what they're into, and that sells. And it's just like you said, they're not going to care about us, our opinions. Less is more for them. Give a game that never existed physically. Give the graphics, the gameplay doesn't need to be fun. It needs to have funny enough moments that are clippable that help people get likes, because that right there is worth more than $1 for a lot of people. And a beautiful game with a great story isn't enough. You have a clippable, memeable moment. It's the reason why the comedy and the whatever you want to call it in modern Marvel movies is a thing, because it's the moments. It's not the whole picture. People don't care about the whole picture anymore. It's just moments.
And it's like Wolverine. Let's just say conservative $250 million after marketing. Okay.
Yeah.
A game that's going to be awesome. But most people probably going to play it once, if not never finish it.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Yep.
you look at the return. Like, I'm not trying to talk anyone out of this. But like, if us three were running PlayStation and we look at this and we have the PS3, which I'm just saying, a purely PlayStation, an abundance of exclusives, amazing first party lineup. But you look at the money, I'm not even counting the tank they took on every console sold, which was astronomically bad. Way worse than they do on the Series X right now. I think they lost, like, the console was whatever, I don't know, $699 in American dollars. It was like $850 here. But like, they were losing well over half straight out of the gate, and that never really improved on the PS3. But that aside, you look at the money you made on the PS3 and the software, and then you look at the money you're making on the PS5 in terms of software, releasing less than half of the games. And you're like, that's why we don't get the lineup anymore. People are like, oh, the PS5 doesn't really have any games. Well, kind of no one does. But at the same time, it's like, what's the incentive to do it? You get all those like AA games, whatever you want to call them now, are taken up by the indie space. And that's why I don't like saying indie, because a lot of these games are of as high a quality in those capacities as we used to get. And it's like, why buy the cow if you can just get the milk for free? Like, why am I going to buy these studios and make these type of games when I can just, pay a little bit to get access to it and maybe give them a marketing thing as well? And this is where I think this idea of, people are pissed because PlayStation doesn't have a lot of games, or whatever the fuck doesn't have games. It's like, if you're not deviating from that first party path and that Call of Duty path. Some people, like, don't get me wrong, there's a gamer out there that just plays Call of Duty every year and Madden, and he's fucking fine. And I know, and there's millions and millions and millions of those guys.
It's the majority.
I'm talking about, what's that?
It's the majority of most gamers, really.
It's definitely a really major sect of it. But I'm talking like dudes like us, and then those fucking idiots online that just talk all the time, that gaming's awful all the time. And I'm wrong. I'm not trying to paint this like amazingly rosy picture about video games right now. I think the industry has a lot of problems. PlayStation specifically, long term, I think they're fine in the short to medium term. But I'm talking like long term. I think they got a big fucking problem. But that's for another conversation. Maybe after the PS6 generation. But it's like, if you're not in the smaller game scene and exploring a little bit off that path, you're gonna feel like the software lineup is not great and bare bones, and where's my innovation? Well, no one's innovating on a $300 million game. They're gonna play it safe.
Yeah.
They're gonna make they're gonna nail the hooks, they're gonna nail the visuals, and they're gonna just do that and make it as pretty as possible without taking all these chances. The chances in the innovation are in the other spaces. And to be honest, there's some really great fucking games in. Play more games. I mean, diverse your palette. You'll be a lot happier as a gamer, or not, and keep complaining. I don't know. Whatever. Do whatever you want.
And back to your point from before when you were asking about like what you think the best looking game is. Like, I was absolutely blown away by how beautiful Astrobot is. And I'm definitely a style over like, realism kind of guy in
Mhm.
general with my gaming. But like, if you want to talk about the ray tracing, the graphics, and just the overall performance, like it plays perfectly. It has all the dynamic lighting options in the world that you could ever want. It's creative as hell. It's just a delight to play. But it also only sold like maybe 10 million
And
copies
that's my
top.
point. I didn't even sell that. And I'm like, why? I think this game's incredible. It won Game of the Year. Should it have? Don't care. It did. And I'm like, it has they did nostalgia in the right way. And it's throwbacks and all this shit. And my son watched me play this game. He was enamored. He loved it. And then I'm
Mhm.
like, why doesn't a game like this, like if Nintendo did this, they just created whoever, it was Nintendo fuckhead, and it was just nostalgia time Nintendo, that game would sell 15 million copies. It just would. And I'm
Mhm.
like, why doesn't that work on this other hardware? I mean, that's beyond me. I don't know why it didn't work. Critically amazing, but it sells like 5 million. Good,
Yeah.
but is it worth all that effort? I don't know. But they're going to get another shot at it from the sounds of it. But
Yeah, and it's a cheaper game that like they could churn out more of these too, and then you don't even have the no exclusives argument because you can be like, oh, we have all these mascot platformers again and shit like that. You don't have to kill
see,
yourself developing these, but again, it's a limited audience.
from the sounds of it, though, this game took about 7 years. Like Team Asobi was working on it a long time, and that's the
Yeah,
thing. Like people are like, "Oh, quick, we'll keep turning them around." But like even games like this are like 5+ years, and it's gone. It just sucks. Like the era that we grew up in. I'm not even talking like the golden age of like Square. I know you're not JRPG guys, but like you know, 6, 7, 8, and 9 come out in like a 6 year span,
yeah.
and
Even
that's
then,
like
Square's also making like Einhander at the time and still
yeah.
making weird shit on the
And
side.
there's Xenogears, and there's well, that's the PS1 generation, sort of. Well, no, we're talking
Right.
about the same one.
Mhm.
They're doing all this Parasite Eve, Xenogears, and you just keep going.
Mhm.
Vagrant Story, all these other fucking games, and you're like, how? Like, I don't know how. Like my partner Ollie is a big industry guy. He's worked on a lot of games, and I mean, he's been talking about the problems with the industry coming with money and shit forever. I mean, I don't think you needed to be a prophet to see where this was going in most capacities. But I think for him, he thinks there's a lot further to fall. Not in a crash. I think the industry is crash proof just because the audience is entrenched. But I think there's been a lot of damage in terms of how we look at games. I think the economy has definitely changed, you know, how
Oh yeah.
people spend. And I get it. It's like I've always been a proponent of like I don't understand people would be against these like the pro iteration of a PlayStation. I was all for it. I'm like there's people that buy a new iPhone every year. I get it. It's not the best comparison. I get it, but it kind of compares its technology, its upgrades, blah blah blah. But it's like I don't know. I feel for people out there, and it's like but ultimately, I dial it back to this. Video games was never meant to be this bargain hobby. You guys are 40. I grew up in a time where SNES carts cost $99 to $120 in Canada. Like Fantasy Star 2 was 99 fucking dollars. Chrono
Mhm.
Trigger and Final Fantasy 6 were well over $100. And then you price that adjust for inflation today. You're talking like $180 game. And but I get it. People don't want to hear this shit. They don't want to hear it. Like
Yeah.
in many ways, I think games, not hardware, we're moving out of that realm, but video games are cheaper than they've ever been. They're easier to access than they've ever been. Years ago, we never had sales. Like that didn't exist. Like maybe Toys R Us would have a sale, but I'm talking like digital, storefronts and
Oh, dude. Yeah.
it's just so abundant. Like if your whole thing about video games is you didn't give a flying fuck about playing games in the first 2 years they came out, you could play games for nothing and you would never be bored ever.
Oh, 100%. I do when Steam or GOG does their sales. I used to think the days of going to GameStop finding last gen games for like cheap was a thing. But when you see a game that's like a game you legit want, and it can be a AAA title and it's like $2, you're like, How can I not like, even if I own it physically, the convenience of, oh shit, it's on my PC now for $2, like you're not going to turn that down. So yeah, like that is a thing. Like my digital library is so congested with things that I've just bought on sale. And sometimes like, yeah, if it's under $5, I'm almost like I'd be stupid not to get
Yeah.
this. You
And
know,
it's
like
almost like you almost feel like, what's the incentive for that? Like, there was a sale on PlayStation the other day, like Mass Effect Legendary Edition, all three, the remaster. It was like $7.99, and you're
yeah.
like, I'm like,
Yeah,
awesome,
I bought it.
Yeah.
yeah, of course you did. Like, who wouldn't? But at the same
Yeah.
time, if I'm like BioWare, I don't really know the chain of command about how this works. From what I understand, you actually have a say of what your games go on sale of. Like, I personally, I'd be like, listen, man, I'd rather not have a sale than at $7. I'd be like, you know what? If you can't buy my game at 20 fucking bucks,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, I guess I'm glad Jim bought it, or something like that if I'm them. But at the same time, it's like, how much do I honestly value my games? But ultimately, it's cool. My point remains that if you didn't care about being a day one adopter or a year one adopter, my God, you could eat so good in video games. Like, cheap video games aren't right. They're just not.
No. No. And it's, oh man, it's tough, right? Because it's the benefit for the gamers to get these games on sale, but it's also at our own detriment. Because if you cheapen it, then you're going to just drive home the point. Well, you guys want it digitally, and you prefer it digitally, and it's misleading stats. And yeah, it's I don't know, the inevitability of shit going to digital. Yes, at some point in the future, we always knew, but unfortunately, I think PlayStation is just they just wanted to cut the ties and say fuck it, we're doing it now, and it is what it is.
And I guess just a final nail on that. I'd feel bad if we didn't bring it up and people would be pissed. It's like, it's not just about the physical game. It's about the monopoly of the marketplace and controlling really one conduit. You only have one conduit to get the game. They control when they go on sale. They control where you get them. You no longer have this resale market anymore. So it's not just the person that buys the physical game. The conversation is kind of beyond that too. So I mean, in that capacity, I do hear the people talking about it. I just wish more people would have put that energy into actually buying physical games a long time ago, because you could see the trend coming. But that ship has sailed. So
Dang.
moving forward, how do we see this? Like, carrying into the next generation. I know the Switch 2 is what it is. So they're already firmly in whatever you want to define this as. But how do we see it? Like, how do you guys see it? Like, TLDR, short term.
PlayStation's all in. Xbox is gonna. I think they will have a version, a system that has a disc. You're gonna pay for it for sure. And Nintendo, they're not as far off as people think they are. Come their next system, I think most of their shit is going digital as well.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to say Xbox follows suit with PlayStation and doesn't have a disc base because Xbox is very good at not doing the easy win. So they're just going to go, well, why spend more money? We're already hurting. We got to save money where we can. If they were doing it, we're going to do it too. And I also think this will be Xbox's last system. I just don't see them running the ship unless they have some crazy savior come in managerially. PlayStation will be fine for as much as people are bitching now. Nothing's going to change. And Nintendo will be Nintendo.
I like it. I think I mean, we're kind of in the same boat. And like you said, I think if Xbox was smart, they would do a lot of the things we said they should do, but I don't think they're going to do fucking any of those. I think they're going to limp dick this entire generation, half-ass the rest of it, and I do, like Jim said, I do think this is going to be the last iteration of an actual Xbox hardware. They may try to integrate with other people and call it an Xbox, but in terms of manufacturing their own box. I think this Helix will be the end of them, and then they'll go third party. And maybe Microsoft just says, you know what, we're going to carve them up for parts and sell them out, which will be a really sad end to, how do I say this? A super hype brand that really only caught lightning in a bottle for one generation and like squandered it and maybe didn't deserve it. It just but that one generation, they taught so many lessons to the entire industry. But at the same time, as a Sega guy, I got to say, like, I just wish I wish Sega was Xbox and had their money, because everything that they did great, Sega had already tried. They were just way ahead of the curve on it. And it's like, I wish Sega would have just been here to teach those lessons. But anyway, yeah, and
Unfortunately, they're WCW, and Phil Spencer
Yeah.
was Eric Bischoff, to put it in wrestling
holy
terms.
shit, what a great Jim! I knew why I brought you guys on. That's great. What a great. I love that.
I was due.
It was due. So listen, guys, we're gonna wrap this up. 5 minutes. We've been a little over 2 hours now. I'm getting tired and slightly inebriated because I moved on to this bourbon, which thank
Nice.
you, my American
Ooh.
brethren. Us in Canada, we no longer have American alcohol on our shelves. I don't know if you guys know this. Probably not.
No.
No.
Because in Canada, we think we're very self-righteous and we're. Listen, a lot of people think they're better here than Americans, and it kills me because whatever. I'm like, what's that line in Mad Men? You know the show Mad Men?
Oh yeah.
Don Draper's like, I don't think about you at all. And he uses and that's kind of the way America thinks about Canada. And I'm wrong. I do love my country, but like these people do dumb shit. Like these liquor stores bought all the American booze. It's already paid for. And then they just pull it off the shelves and sit on it because they're trying to prove some sort of point in this tariff.
They're like, "Ha, we got."
But anyway, I'm a smart guy and I know bourbon is great. So I bought a ton of honey bourbon. And here it is. And I love it. I keep it in a decanter. And it's so fucking good. It's so good.
Listen, I don't know if we're able to ship bottles internationally, but if you ever need some,
you are. I'll just have to pay the import. That's it.
We got a lot of good bourbons we can recommend.
I love this.
Yeah.
We will exchange. We'll do. You know what? It's up to us to mend the international affairs here. That's what we'll do.
Get the bridge going. That's right.
So I always like to, when I have guests on, I stole this question from another podcast, not video game at all. They just use this question at the end. And I like to pose it to my guests. I'm like, what is it in gaming that we're not talking about and you think we should be? Big titty waifus.
I mean, that is our bonus segment on our podcast, the Krusty Corner, for as little as $1 a month on Patreon. But yeah, that's a fucking good question, because it's like there's so much outrage shit out there. Like eventually you get the feel good story too, but like that doesn't generate clicks.
Yeah, well, I don't need clicks. No one cares. Just whatever you guys think. Like, it could be good.
You know what?
It could be bad.
I'll throw some out there. We don't actually address the positivity for all the negativity we have actually said. You started this podcast with that term, gamers are eating good. The reason we are where we are is we have such a glut of games that even if you decided I will never buy another new game, you can go your entire lifetime and still discover so many new games. There's so much out there, maybe to a detriment, I would say, but man, there is creativity if you just open your eyes. Whether it's digital or whatnot, the indie scene is filled with innovative people. AAA games, love them or hate them, there's a lot of great ones out there, and it's not a bad time. It's the best time ever to be a gamer. And I think that trend will, at the end of the day, continue, because it is a scene that before it was a nerdy thing, very niche. Then it became popular. Everyone's a gamer now. Like, I don't care who you are. So try to recognize that the problems we're having with gaming truly are like because we're gluttonous for how much we have already, and it is going nowhere. And try to have a positive spin and just find good in the nooks that you can.
I like
And you
that.
know what? To piggyback off that, like I
Of course
know
you are.
gamers in general. Shut the fuck up. I know people in general like to say the gamers, are insulated, hermits almost. But if you go, let me finish, Bri.
I didn't say anything.
I heard that snicker. But if you go to like a gaming convention, if you go out and actually touch grass and like meet up with people that you've talked to online before, or like you run into people that and stuff like that, it's so easy. Whether like none of us here are huge creators, but like you can still build a cool little community of people that you might see once a year, but you hang out and you're all there for a similar purpose and stuff like that from a similar background, and you can just instantly have stuff that you can talk about, make new friendships and shit like that. It's like anything else when you have a hobby and you share it with other people, but it just seems like gamers in a lot of ways are more accepting and open to just be like to be happy to have someone to talk about their niche with and a kind of deal like that. So like I don't think like the good side of gamers and networking, like everyone talks about like the toxic online shit talking and stuff like that, but like yeah, that obviously happens. But you're not talking about like all the networking that people are just doing in general too.
Mm-hmm. I'm with you. I'm both counts. Like, I think for the most part, I think we amplify what's online, and I don't personally. I put it in perspective. Like, I was just example, and I don't want to talk about politics at all. But if you based a political decision in your country on who would have won last election, it would have been the other person based on social media interactions. You know what I mean? Like just that echo chamber does not reflect reality, but at the same time, it matters. I get that, but often the loudest voices and the loudest outrage does not reflect the greater whole. And I think if you're just a person that likes video games, you're completely fine and you're completely happy. You don't care. You're like, oh, I'll move on when I do, and games are great and blah blah blah. But and like Jim said too, if you I mean gaming's great. And there was a time there is I've listened to people talk. They're like, no, gaming was always cool. I'm like, dude,
No.
like, you have no
No.
idea.
No.
Gaming was not cool. Like when I was in high school, like there was a couple dudes that played. I shouldn't say couple. There's a lot of guys that game, but like chicks didn't want to talk to you. They didn't, like, and there was still like this, like jock dudes didn't play. And it's funny because I always bridged the gap. Like I played all the sports, but I was the biggest nerd. Like I was still scouring Blockbuster for Japanimation, like it was that type of shit, but it was never cool. But it is cool now. Gaming is mainstream and everyone is gamers, just like you said. So
Yep.
yeah, I'm glad you guys said that. I think the key is to, with anything, man, it's so easy to get drawn by the negative. Latch onto the positive. Elevate yourself. Be happy. Drink beers.
Fuck yeah.
That's the most important part.
Drink your
We're
beers,
starting
play
a
your
YouTube
games.
page, so you have an excuse to drink more with your buddy.
That's right. And that's why I brought you guys on. So listen, you guys have now plug your shit. I didn't want you hawking your wares at the beginning of the show. So plug your shit now, and then I'll attach all the links to it.
All right, go on YouTube, search for Drink a Beer, Play a Game. You're going to have to scroll through a couple Luke Bryan posts because he has a song called Drink a Beer. But once you get past that, look for Drink a Beer, Play a Game. You will find us twitch.tv/Drink a Beer, Play a Game, on Twitter, X, whatever the fuck you want to call it, at ABeer&AGame. We're also on Threads and Blue Sky and all that bullshit too. We're on, search for Drink a Beer, Play a Game. You'll find us on basically anything.
Do you guys have a Patreon?
Yes, we do, over at patreon.com/drink a beer, play a game, where we have all of the tiers. $1 gets you our bonus segments. $2, you can ask a question on every single podcast that we put up. $5, you get game review requests. $10 and up, you get movie review requests. We have full on bonus episodes of the podcast we put up there. So yeah, or even outtakes every once in a while, or the occasional like just goofy video we want to put up there for people. End of the year list for something that's not gaming related. You can find all that good stuff over there. And of course, we have our Power Hour podcast, which you can find not just on YouTube, but also on Apple, Spotify, and Podbean.
I love that. That was a good riff.
Yeah.
Brian, you got anything to add, or you just sit there and be fucking useless, or what?
I mean, Jim has perfected the plug. And I will say,
I gotta say that was great.
No, he's got that down to a science. Yeah, no, I mean, come over. We we do the podcast weekly, but we also do release rankings, video game reviews, kind of whatever, game room tours. Jim will go over some new thing he's found. So it's like we're a mixed bag. But at the end of the day, our banter, us talking, if you enjoy that, come over to a podcast, talk to us, and just join the communities we're in on Discord, on everything else, because we just like to bullshit with people and talk games.
Well, I mean, that's why I had you guys on, and that's how I found you, and I've enjoyed listening. So I really appreciate you guys coming on. This has been great. It's allowed me to have an excuse to have a couple drinks as opposed to doing it by myself and looking like a loser.
What we're here for.
Yeah, thank you very much. And I can't wait to do this again. It was a lot of fun. My last task to you guys was I like to end these shows. We stopped it when we were trying to build like the YouTube aspect because the music would always get flagged. At this point, I don't give a shit. I really like video game music. It's like a thing for me. And I like people making recommendations. So do you guys have a gaming recommendation that'll take us out? Game music recommendation, I should say.
Ooh. Do you want us each to give one or a combined
No,
one?
just one in total because I can only run one.
Ooh. I mean...
Be obscure, be mainstream, whatever. What's your favorite?
You know what? I'm just going to go ahead and throw it out for us. This year, every single day, I've released a short for video game recommended music from gamers. So the very first one we went with was Go Straight from Streets of Rage 2. It's an all-time classic. It's one of the best soundtracks out there.
Oh, yeah. Yuzo Koshiro, baby.
Yep. And that was the first video we put up of this year. So I feel like that's how it all starts.
All right. That's going to take us out. Thanks, everyone, for listening to Game Time, episode 18. This is Jason signing off. Sayonara. Ollie, Erik, get the fuck back here. It's lonely. All right.
Cheers. Thank
Jim,
you for
Brian.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers,
Thanks
gentlemen.
for having us on.
Thank you very much.
Man.